A list of the sensitive themes and subject matter have been included in the video description.
That has stop motion in it.
You had stop motion Tremors.
The practical
Send them to the
is actually very good in Tremors. The practical
I
effects
fully
they use in
believe that
Tremors.
most practical effects are better than any CGI effects.
I would agree.
The hard thing is in Tremors, it was a horror movie shot in the day. It's desert horror, so it's daylight most of the time.
Yeah.
Even the night scenes, the monsters are underground. There's no suspense because they're like maybe they're on a rock, so like the worms can't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So like the suspense is it's during the day, like hot, arid desert. So like the practical effects, like you could do like where's Pumpkinhead from? Like there's certain practical effects that were very good, but it's because they were in darkness, right? You lit them a certain way. That's why they look so
You
good.
talking about Trick or Treat?
Is it Trick or Treat?
Sam, who has the
Yeah, he's
pumpkin
like a
head.
long
Yeah.
face. They call him Pumpkinhead, but it's actually like a long. The practical effect in that is amazing. But if you actually see it in the light, it's very good. It's painted well, but it's actually not scary. It's how you light it. But then in Tremors, everything was in light. It's noon. It's like you can't hide it. So like the practical effects were very good in a weird, gross way. You know what I mean?
Oof, that movie.
Because they were just like slime.
Yeah.
Slime.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll say 3 out of 10.
They call him Pumpkinhead. His head looked like a brain more than anything.
Yeah, that's why I always forget his name. But it's like one of the best practical
Again,
Look at this
so
dude.
slow, going down
so
like
slow.
what?
He's like,
It took
This
like
guy.
a 5-minute
nice.
scene.
Yeah, that's not the person I was thinking.
Yeah, no, you were thinking of Sam from
Wait a second.
Trick or Treat
Trick or
movie.
swamp of despair
One of my
that eats
favorite.
people who are sad.
Favorite.
Was that horse
I
depressed?
need to.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
That
I need to
was
see a
just
lot.
fast.
I've only seen Scream.
We all die someday.
Nick is real
Mud.
big into the Scream
Thick
franchise.
mud,
Oh, yeah.
I've only seen the first one.
Oh.
I have seen
It's not
the
liquid
first two.
drowning. It's not sandy sinking. It is mud.
Breathing mud
Oh, yeah.
to die. Goodbye. Why?
forget that.
We're good to go?
Yeah, speaking of mud.
Mud?
You're good.
Sure, we'll go. That's a good transition. Hi, and welcome to DC 5. I will be your dungeon master. My name is Day Albright, and with me are my intrepid investigators. Say hi, intrepid investigators.
Which is
Fine. Daring detectives. Do you want to use that for the rest of the series?
Thank you, daring detective.
Sounds great.
We're detectives now.
Alright, so for a soft auto success, who can tell me what happened last session?
Take it away, Shaq.
Okay, so we had our kind of downtime activities. Adonis crashed on my couch for a bit, started using my mailbox more.
Can I say, I think what I did, like, cause like, I actually didn't like probably help you solve any cases. I like to think I made business cards the whole time. Like, I'm just over there making us business cards, but like, I'm like making some for me specifically.
There you go.
Ruby and Adonis.
Yeah.
I'm like
business cards.
Yes.
Like, I really convinced you that's what we needed.
I'm like, alright, man.
You haven't gotten a case. I'm like, you need presentation. You need business cards.
Honestly, absolutely.
PR.
Went to, I know Ruby went to the diner, talked to Cole, caught them up on the you would not believe this shit, and then also Donnie dropped some weird, I don't even remember what you said, something about
She's
like,
a changeling, by the way.
yeah, but with no context, just fully just like that.
You
So I'm
would
like,
figure it out.
so now I'm like,
how many
that's
people do you know with
suspicious
red hair?
It's basically-
shade of red
you guys
hair.
want to figure it
Anyways,
out,
Right.
Like, I'm giving you
and
the
then
extra
we
clues.
all get
Yeah.
letters.
She's upset.
From different sources regarding the Tane Gala, which is coming up. He kind of steals his ish. They're invited. I get one is like, oh my god, you helped solve this case. Like, please come. So on and so forth. So we've all gotten this, and then we get a call to come back into Ferris Finders. We walk into Mr. Ferris's office, and the man is headless.
Correct.
It's like a horse.
So no head?
No head. Tragically
Right,
not.
skateboard.
But you do get a little auto success token.
Thank you. My hat has been returned.
Yep.
Have you ever used it?
Once.
What?
Me too.
Once.
We're forced to.
I want to say it was during the boss fight.
I think so. I was like, I live actually.
Right.
I did not die. Thank you.
So, we open up on this scene within the Ferris Finder's office of the headless detective, weird writing on the floor and wall, and a massive bit of blood splatter across one of the windows.
Okay.
That's very well done, and also.
it's beautiful.
What the fuck? Send that to me.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how you made this later. This is beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I hate that.
In the post, we'll talk about that.
Yes, don't worry.
You could just be like,
I
oh,
was gonna
there's.
say, if anyone wants to take a look
0
at it,
out of 10, but in like the best way possible.
that was beautiful.
thanks, I hate it.
That was.
If you
That
want
is
behind the
single-handedly
scenes,
the best D&D prop I've seen.
Wow.
Single-handedly.
You know, his office isn't as nice as I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought it was pretty grimy.
I thought it was gonna be like a nicer, kind of like whitish office, because they had like the whole practice. I'm like, this is kind of what I imagined my office looking like.
Do you remember what the secretary sounded like? Hey, Donnie.
Yeah.
This place
Straight up, just like chain
but
smoking,
it
500-year-old like gnome.
It seems like it was like more of an office building, so I was imagining like very kind of like clean, more corporate looking. But I guess it is also the 20s, so that is
Yeah,
corporate
it's a
at
very
this point.
20s aesthetic.
That's
so
fair,
there's
yeah.
a very limited amount of clean, like modern corporate stuff.
That's
It's
fair.
still very much
It's so good,
hardwood
I'm looking
floors,
for
tacky
clues in
wallpaper.
That's how
Right?
good it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Plus, multiple buildings are like stacked on top of each other, so you gotta go across through bridges and everything. So,
all that.
sure, the tower goes a mile into the sky.
It's
Really,
not all
one office
possible.
building has like
Okay,
one
honest.
level,
Fair enough.
maybe two.
Well, he is roomkeeper, and I actually, you guys can pass that. I might have like examples
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
to connect it.
Is the
He can
secretary
beat it,
in
but-
here with us?
Yes, Secretary has led you in there. Linda has opened the door, allowed you to see the scene, and she is distraught. Naturally, because her employer is fucking dead
Yeah,
within his
no.
own office
Yeah, I'm
in a
sure.
very brutal way.
Oh yeah,
I'd
I'm
also
gonna
be
go
upset if my
check
dad
out
was
the
at
body,
Jeopardy.
kind of look at the where his head was,
Sure thing.
and see if this is maybe like a decapitation or like a
Sure thing.
it just did
go on,
that.
yeah, inspect
like,
it.
like JFK.
His head just did that. So in that case, roll me a medicine or investigation check of your choice.
Okay.
What is everyone else doing?
Probably the same thing.
Okay. Similarly, medicine or investigation if you're examining the body.
You got it, boss.
Anyone
I'm not
else?
examining.
Cool. What are you doing?
No.
No.
No, so I don't know.
What are you
Maybe
doing?
just trying
No.
to.
I
I don't know how I can help in this.
I don't remember what color.
So you're just
these
taking
guys
a
are.
moment to
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, it's like
Are you trying to comfort Linda at all or anything like that? Try to get her to like calm down a little? Or?
No, that's her boyfriend's job.
Okay.
How's that my job?
Oh, I'm using
Fair enough.
investigation.
There's still
Okay.
papers around the room. He still has like a fucking cork board of shit. He still has a desk that you can look through if you'd like.
I think I'd like to go to the cork board. Maybe there's a case he was working on in his like private time.
Sure thing.
That he has like,
Yeah.
you know.
Roll me an investigation because there is weird markings on that cork board, but there are still papers visible that you can still try to decipher.
As soon as
What
I
are you
find
two doing?
my character sheet.
I got a 23 in investigation.
Cool.
18 in medicine.
Cool. Good
Cool.
enough. So 23, 18. What are you two doing?
Seeing that these two are investigating the body itself, I'm gonna look at the strange markings and see if my eyes of the roomkeeper can decipher them for me.
Sure thing. All right. And what are you doing, Adonis?
I'm gonna look at the door, see if there was a break-in.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I have
Um,
an eye for detail.
I will say investigation or intelligence with lockpicking proficiency or thieves tool proficiency if you have that.
So it was an investigation or that.
Yes. You'd essentially just be using intelligence for this, but if you are proficient in lockpicking
Okay.
or breaking and entering in some regard,
So
I would-
basically, it's just since I have no intelligence, I'm just rolling with my proficiency for thieves tools.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
walking.
yeah.
10.
Cool. All right. We'll start with you then. Examining the door and like the lock on anything like that doesn't seem to be tampered with at all. So like no busted glass, no busted lock, like nothing in that seems to acknowledge that there was anybody trying to break in, at least through using lockpicking or anything like that. Pivoting over to the medicine check we had earlier. Are you examining the neck or just like all over the?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fair.
Anything that's like obvious.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
You check for a pulse. Nothing's coming up.
He's dead.
Yeah.
To
I don't think he's coming back. He's not coming home. He's
I
dead.
got it.
Checking the
He needs some mail.
checking the cuts around the neck, you do notice that it is not a clean cut. How would Chase know that something has been sawed off?
Serration. I think that's mostly basic. I mean, he does his own cooking, so like if he sees a serrated edge versus just like a.
Fair enough.
Hey, meat is meat, you know what I'm saying?
You know how to make a good sirloin. You know what?
Anybody can cook up a steak.
You also, as you're investigating, like you can notice at the very least that this is not, directly like clean cut or anything like that. This was actively like forced off. If this is too much, please let me know.
Serrated edge. Copy that.
Yep. It looks very uneven on the saw.
Okay.
And I'll say with that 23 investigation, you were also examining the body with this. You also notice within the body itself seem to be these little slivers of like metal along different, along these different lines within the body. I will say with the combination of you two, his actual nervous system has actively been turned to steel.
Whoa.
Like you can see it within the spine cut itself and some of the other like synapses essentially going down. It is just straight up metal.
You got nerves of steel all the way to the end.
And I will say that you can also see a small hole within the neck.
Okay.
Hole in the neck?
Yes.
Small.
Yep.
Injection or like extraction?
Injection. I would say with both of your checks, you can tell injection.
Copy.
You're investigating the cork board over
Yes,
here.
I rolled a 15.
Yes. With a 15, you're able to see where the red strings are kind of being dotted around and just like important figures, various other case notes, anything like that. It seems to be kind of what he was talking about at the end of the last case that you guys did, where essentially he has been tracking down various cult activities, but also going after the crime families. It seems there is a weird overlap going on, and he has listed a series of names, which seem to be listed, on one is a sort of like just written down piece of paper. Some of the blood is unfortunately over it, so you can't get all of the names, but you do see there is about like 15 different names on there that match up to different victims around the city. And with your Eyes of the Runekeeper, the various, like, how does Eyes of the Runekeeper work for you? Like, what's the flavor behind it?
I lift my lantern up from off my belt, and it shines like a bluish glow because of my Merid of Patron, and I just wash it over the writing, and it just, for me alone, it just kind of changes it in real time to make it. It's nighttime. It's nighttime.
That was so cool.
Thank you for the special effects, my friend.
I got you.
In real time, it just kind of like, in a positive manner, how dyslexia works.
Yeah.
See how dyslexia fucks up words? This one fixes words, but for me.
You know.
Tragically, I am only thinking of the one scene of Percy Jackson.
Oh yes, precisely. But just run the tape in reverse.
Yep.
Fighting for my life over here.
Brother, I didn't say anything about you.
You made it
Talking
No,
about
Christian
you.
did.
Oh.
easy
Get
for
him.
us to get him.
Get him,
So, with Eyes of the Runekeeper, you're able to see as these symbols. Essentially, there is an ethereal like version that kind of pops off from where they are, and only through your eyes you can see them twist and distort themselves into a few words, which is really strange because there's only like about a handful of symbols on the wall, but it almost makes like a fucking sentence.
It's a very efficient language.
Yes. Or a very strange language. You can recognize it as the same symbols that are in the
It's a
book you
VeggieTales
have.
reference.
Okay.
Lord of Bean.
Good movie.
As the symbols say, voices for the symphony, the ensemble grows.
Say that one more time?
Voices for the symphony, the ensemble grows.
I have a feeling they're putting together a little band. How exciting! Well, not for him, but for us.
For us, it's really exciting.
Were you right now?
Right now I'm Hannah,
Yeah.
The one that was,
Scarlet.
contracted to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
who was supposed to be here.
No, same thing.
They are. You see red hair and you're like, nah, I know that bitch.
I know you.
I know you.
I like to think the one part of the puzzle I haven't put together is that you're the real name. I don't know Puck. Like I'm just like, what should I call you?
Well, I don't know. You don't know Puck's or
Alright.
That's funny.
So, we've examined the writing on the wall, the body, the corkboard, and...
I mean, I'm gonna go over and pretend like I'm investigating, but we all know I'm gonna go through his pockets.
Sounds good.
As
Weird.
God intended.
Investigation or sleight of hand of your choice.
Oh, it'll be investigate. Well, I'll do sleight of hand because I'm better at that. I'll
Sounds
be
good.
honest with you of what I'm gonna do.
Sounds good.
But you're gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm picking pockets.
It's 17 plus 6.
17.
But like obviously I'm saying I'm picking his pockets, but like for papers and valuables.
Yeah. Investigating the body, you do pull out a couple of various items on him. One seems to be a small key that you think could fit into a drawer or another cabinet within this room. There is a sort of very crumpled up paper, like it's been hastily folded up, like it's not even or anything like that. What ends up being on that note seems to be another list of names, but it is in a different script. What's most of you are able to pick out is gatekeepers.
Okay.
Going through the rest of his pockets, you do see what looks to be a small gemstone. It does show the weather, and it's essentially a small gem that does the druidcraft cantrip.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically for like weather and time.
Okay.
Because we don't have Apple Watches, we have to find some other runic way to do it.
No, that's very cool.
And what looks to be a small little like bundle of twigs, like in a sort of like. Don't say it. Don't say it.
You don't mean a.
Don't say it. Don't say it. It's an effigy. It's a focus.
Yes, I was about to say it's either an effigy or maybe components, but I.
Yeah.
You know what the word is, don't you, Matt?
It's a bundle of sticks and nothing else.
You coward!
You do not have the pass while on camera.
I have the pass.
Pass!
Cool. But I would
There's also like a small bundle of like coins. In there.
Okay, yeah. But I would put the key on the desk. Oh, I'm assuming the desk probably has a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Basically, I want to show everyone I have the key in the list of names.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I found this.
Yeah.
But
I'll also tell every.
Yeah, I'm
found out,
gonna
just
fill
like
them in
it's
on
rated
like,
edges.
hey, Robin, you wanna come check this out?
And that way, I'll tell you what.
I'll like snap out of the rune key, the rune eyes, and it just perspective light just goes away back to the regular room.
Mhm.
Oh.
Seems his nervous system's turned to steel.
It's rated edge, yeah. Try to cut this off. Not a clean job. Not a fast job either.
Which might
Is there
imply
a-
he was alive when this
Explain
happened.
I know
Let's
if you look
letter
at
on
the
the wall.
corkboard, the symbols are there symbols on the floor.
There's symbols on the floor as well.
Does it look like ritualistic
very much ritualistic. You can at the very least tell that, okay,
It's
that's
not-
different symbols, like those seem like individual
Script.
words or something.
He
Yeah,
read
that
a
seems like
script.
script.
This
This
is-
seems an extra level of
Yeah.
weird.
They'll
There may
do
be some
something
extra
different.
script involved with it, but it
Okay.
seems more
So like,
elaborate.
okay, so I'll have to scan that at some point. But
Mhm.
going over,
I don't
looking
think
at
it's
the
gonna be
body,
a script.
he's sitting in his chair facing forward, but there's a big old blood splatter
Behind him.
Again, behind him.
Yeah.
Robin's gonna look over, decide, and just. Serrated knife implies that it was a sawing action, not clean cut, not a solid motion. But the fact that there's a massive blood splatter behind him and not nearly as much in front of him tells me that they started from the back of the neck and not the front of the neck.
That's just.
Reasoning for that is not entirely clear at the moment. As you pointed out, they did turn his nervous system to solid metal.
Well,
What
they
do you
started at the
suspect?
back to not damage his vocal cords. Duh.
Do you want his vocal cords?
Well, I mean, there were people in cages using,
They kept him alive.
Oh yeah, did
Yeah.
you hear that from Splice?
Yeah.
Wow, you gave me the full download.
Yeah,
in
he's
a
yeah,
half
he's
an hour
great.
span.
He's great at that.
Yeah.
Professional yapper.
What a professional.
Anyway,
Which implies-
Professional squealer.
No.
Since he's got no head, it implies that they took the head with them, which is supposed to corroborate the idea that
We're taking the vocal cords.
you need the vocal cords, just need the head, We may
Is
need to do
it,
a full autopsy
like-
to see if
Maybe
anything
just
else
need a
is missing.
mouthpiece.
Like there is a stump around like the neck itself. With the medicine check, when it comes to the actual vocal cords, a little got left behind, but it was mostly like neck up.
Yeah.
Because like those cords kind of go a bit.
Yeah.
Like they didn't take the whole respiratory system with them.
I'll get my guys in the department to do an autopsy, see if there's anything else missing or what else was changed further down that I can't just see.
Only because apparently you guys are very good at inspecting desks. I actually think the key probably goes to the desk, but I'm gonna think that there's a safe behind something. So like if there's like paintings in the room or maybe even a corkboard, I would just like start looking behind it to see if that key goes into a safe or a chest.
there is a
that's-
core cord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I actually think it probably goes to the desk. But that's what I'm gonna start looking at.
I'll
is
help
if
with
it's
that.
if I'm used to what I mean, it behind paintings or something.
Yeah.
But he's more of a false bottom kind of guy.
Yeah.
I got
So you go to move the corkboard is what I'm hearing?
Yeah, just looking behind it. Any other paintings too? Like I'm just looking behind stuff. I guess
Sure thing.
technically I think the corkboard is on the wall that's to the outside, but I'm still looking.
Yeah. What's everyone else doing at the
I'm
current
gonna help action with that.
help action
Oh,
on the corkboard and all that?
I'm gonna inspect the big circle of blood on the floor, if I can roomkeeper it, or just generally inspect it to see if I can put together what this should be. The
Sure thing.
roomkeeper is just helping to tell me what this should be.
Mm-hmm.
No iron. in this
You
one.
found list of names and
No
key.
iron, no
What's the
iron.
name?
Cool. I'm gonna probably check out, since I'm so good at it, the desk. And then probably the list of names as well, just kind of like see if there's any on there that I'd recognize,
Sure thing.
or if I could figure out the purpose of the list.
All right, sounds good. And Hannah, what are you doing?
I don't recognize any of the symbols anywhere.
The symbols that are on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing on that specifically. No.
Because
Don't believe you were shown any of the writing that they found in the manual.
No, I don't think so. I think they just told me what was happening.
Yeah.
Deep speech.
CHG.
Yeah. Deep sleep is-
That was the.
Overall, what is everyone's language proficiency?
Since we're saying things.
That's the
Common.
transmutation ritual you found.
Yeah.
A goblin and elvish.
I'm getting ready to
Elvish.
tell the group that, but right now, common and goblin. Yeah.
Cool.
Sylvan. Sylvan common.
Sylvan Common.
Aquan, Halfling, Common, and Infernal.
But you
Okay.
can read it.
And I can read anything.
Yes.
It's a matter of speaking and if someone says something,
you're a
I
warlock,
know all of the
Yeah.
languages actually.
If you're a warlock and you don't take that invocation,
Especially for an
It's so
investigator
fun.
type
For a
character.
detective, it's
Yeah.
right there. I also took beast sense, so I beast speech, so I can talk to any animals. as
but
well.
like,
So, that's
even,
such a thing.
even when I was coaching Ryan, I was like, you should take this one. He's like, but that doesn't really. I was like, no, you should take this one. I was like, I'm teaching you how to power game right now.
You're a You will understand soon.
Yeah, so you don't recognize any of the symbols, unfortunately. If you'd like, you could try to make an Arcana check or a another investigation just to try to search the rest of the room, if you'd like. Hannah?
I think I'm gonna try. I could go a little closer at the body.
Okay.
See if there's any symbols like carved into him. You know, like a good old-fashioned serial killer MO, or like a cultist MO. You know what I'm saying?
Check
Sure
your
thing.
clothes.
Yeah.
Under that, you also start talking to the secretary. She might not have known where he's supposed to be yesterday. You know what I
Well,
mean?
she's your girlfriend.
I got what I want out of her.
So she's
Fair enough.
I haven't
Toxic
really seen
about
a
that.
doctor in a couple weeks.
I'm checking the body.
Sounds good. Investigation or Arcana in this case, I will say.
Definitely investigation.
Sounds good. So investigation from you for going through the desk. You're using Eyes of the Runekeeper, and you guys are going behind the corkboard.
Yeah, cool.
And just various other paintings.
Yeah, basically I want to
anything.
Checking for safe.
Yeah, the
Yes,
cabinet.
checking for safes.
I'm doing a perimeter. now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look on the desk for a button that kind of pulls out or anything like that.
Sure. Investigation check for whoever wants to lead on that with advantage because you're helping.
What's your investigation by
It's
the way?
like one.
I got 3.
Go
It's
for
like
it.
a.
You want to hit me?
I got
Yeah.
24.
24 investigation on the body.
Yeah.
Nice.
The same roll twice. Oh no.
No hidden saves for you.
7.
7.
Absolutely blew
Sure
it.
thing.
18.
18. Cool. So 18 on the desk. 7 for finding hidden safes. You're just using Eyes of the Runekeeper. No checks necessary on that one. And you rolled a 20 plus on investigation for the body.
Yeah, sure. Maybe 24 to be
Yep, 24. So we'll start with the corkboard crew over here.
Maybe we should take a look, Danny. I'm not really good at this.
Like I said, we're looking on the wall that like the outside is on the other side. Like there's no way a safe could be there.
Yeah, like there doesn't seem to be enough.
We can look at that.
There doesn't seem to be enough room when you remove the corkboard. There isn't anything underneath that one. But going over some of the other there's other there's like a certification for like, hey, you completed your training under House Thrashed. There's
Watch
other couple
the
diplomas
video.
and you do move one of the little plaques essentially, and behind that seems to be this really small safe.
Alright.
You do end up finding a safe, more than likely locked.
You want to take this one?
Sure.
You got tools? One would hope.
You
No?
don't have these
tools.
Oh no, I do, but we found out that I'm really bad at it.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I mean,
He's a swindler, okay?
Yeah.
I could do it if
My
you want.
my
These tools.
dexterity
I'm really a rogue.
is sleight of hand. It's not in.
Yeah. It's still a dexterity check to use your
Yeah.
these
But
tools,
think
but
about
there is
it.
a separate proficiency.
I
for
put
it.
my expertise into
sleight of hand.
other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So I'm okay at it. I'm
Like,
sorry.
sure, I
I'm not.
know how to do it.
I'm not an expert at it, right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, Ruby, when you want to take a look at the safe over here?
Yeah, give me a minute.
With an 18 on investigating the desk, looking through multiple cases. A lot of them in some of the upper desks, because he has his own little, essentially trunks for other cases that he's done with other folders. The desk itself seems to be more on the personal case that, with the corkboard off the wall, you can actually match up some of the names that are on there. Some of the scribbled list of names that was on the corkboard matches up with some of the names that were on the piece of paper that you found. So matching up those with gatekeepers to victims on the corkboard, as well as individual files. On
Gatekeepers have been almost being targeted then.
Yes, that seems to be the general idea that's been going on with that.
Gatekeeper. Bad guy.
Gatekeeper.
Brilliant.
I got you.
Wait, gatekeepers are the ones being killed.
Are the victims?
Yeah, it does seem they're being
Yeah.
targeted.
With
Oh, okay. I thought you said gatekeeper equals bad guy. I was like, that's very different from the answer I just
No.
got.
right.
From what
That's
I
the
think we
thing.
figured out, gatekeepers are like the anti-cult to the cult of the dragon as well. They seem
Yeah.
to be,
Yes.
and
They're keeping the dragon.
yeah, they're still a
behind the
cult,
gate. They're
but
keeping the
they
gate.
seem to be an okayish druidic cult.
They're
Yes.
an okay cult.
Until we know more.
Indoors.
I'm on their
My
side.
shack.
Yeah.
you can't quote me on that.
I was like,
and you do find
Yeah.
personal files,
Okay.
close to like actual like stakeouts that he's done on various individuals, as well as trying to find out what happened to each of these bodies. Because at some points, Sharn Watch gets to them first. You see some of them were like groundskeepers, a couple other of them were just like general day-to-day people. One of them was like a fucking shoemaker, a cobbler, essentially. But most of them just seem to be civilians. Most of them don't seem to hold any grudges. But these are certainly targeted, at the very least, as the through line is that all of them had been decapitated.
That would do it.
With similar strange markings on the wall. With essentially the same calling card that is happening on his wall right now. And he's been trying to track down where the heads go, but there is no sign of entry on any of these. So there's like various theories that he's writing down on some of these other ones. Could be, is it teleportation? Are they able to like crawl through things? Can they shrink in size? Is it a bugbear? Is it a House Orion agent? Is this one of the criminal families? Like, it's full-blown red strings being just like, throw spaghetti at the wall, what the fuck is sticking here?
He has more questions than answers.
Yeah, essentially. And you're able to find like at least some of those connections going on, able to corroborate names, as well as individual instances of other like what you can assume to be influenced cult activity, as there seems to be an ogre robber at one point who had literal brass knuckles when trying to break down walls in order to steal things for Dask. There seems to be a like Boromar person who was like throwing people in like the nearby river with, instead of cinder blocks, actual lead feet on his victims. So the metal metaphors are very heavy, at the very least.
It's funny. It's funny. We died. It's funny.
It's funny. He died through very weird body horror nonsense. It's funny.
It'd be like that sometimes, you know?
What seems to be a couple of like metal instruments that like a pair of wind chimes that drives people to madness. Like there is a just wide collection of just like, there is a pattern between sound, metal, and gatekeepers are being targeted.
Sound, metal, and flesh.
Yeah, sound, metal, and flesh.
Transmutation.
Yeah. So at the very least, he can limit it down to something called Daukir. Because the cults of the Dragon Below are not unified. They worship different entities that are all trapped in essentially the Underdark of Eberron. So he at the very least can limit it down to, it's fucking one of them. And you can actually see a couple of names just straight out, like, written down, crossed out with some various lines next to them. Roll a history or arcana check on some of these names that are being crossed out. And we will turn to you investigating the body.
Yes.
Looking at the body, and at this point you are actively going through like the body itself or any arcane brands or anything like that. You do see like various scarring on him that has been healed up over time. You also see that sort of injection point from earlier with the nerves of steel in the body. You do see his dragon mark. It is on his his left pec, essentially. And it has actually spread a bit. Like, dragon marks can come in different shapes and sizes. This one's actually kind of large. And so far as like any other markings on him, you can tell he's had what looks to be a small like tattoo, like not a brand or anything like that, not a dragon mark, but just straight up a tattoo with what seems to be what looks to be a mountain with a lock on it. But you just examining the rest of the body, you don't see any other like arcane sigils or anything that would have seen like something that would have read as sacrifice or anything in that regard.
Got
with Eyes of the Runekeeper looking at the symbol on the ground. It doesn't read as like any words.
Yeah.
As you're examining the runic circle on the ground.
It's chemistry.
Roll me a history check.
Formulas.
History or survival.
Like, I know what those letters mean when I look at chemistry, but
Yeah.
I don't.
We'll do a history. 12.
12? These are not words. These are directions.
Oh.
Hate that.
Thanks.
Directions
Thank
like
you.
north, south, east,
Thank
or
you.
more like step
I don't-
1.
I'm
Knead the dough.
Preheat the oven.
Step 3,
Preheat the oven.
decapitate your victim.
Oh, lovely. Perfect.
Uh,
I do government secrets.
No,
deep
it
in recipe
is.
Full Metal Alchemist.
That's all I'm
It
thinking
is
now.
essentially like directions as in navigation.
Okay.
This is a map, essentially.
Weird if I put that on the floor, but I'm not gonna complain. Big old clue. This is leading to my doom.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. Just the way the lines
Some
travel,
sense of
they
this map.
don't make words. It's like looking at a fucked up version of a GPS.
Okay. Turn left into river. I'm not gonna do that, Google.
Turn left, motherfucker.
No.
Turn
Can't
left.
make-
There's no left. Turn left.
There's no left. Turn.
Turn left.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a round of everyone's doing. I'm gonna see if the key fits in the safe.
I will
Turn off
say
headlights.
that was a history.
History.
I will say with the 12, you're also able to pick up a couple of things because this would make sense to you. The pathways line up with roads of Sharn, roads and bridges, but they don't line up with like the public access ones. The best way I can describe it,
The city under the city.
essentially,
The subway.
you see essentially the sewer structure
The
of
sewer
Sharn.
structure. Okay.
Yes. With what looks to be with one of the larger symbols toward like marking an almost end of like the GPS planning, being low in the city. But the general pathway doesn't match like bridges, but it matches like some of the actual concrete roads that lead into like aqueducts or just the tunnels of the sewers. You essentially see the city plan of Sharn. Remind me again, what did you
I got a 14, I believe.
14. Okay. Remind me, what did I ask you to do that for?
History or Arcana. And it
Wasn't
was.
For the names,
Where's
that's
it?
right.
Sliding down the chair.
Yeah,
So,
on the side.
24 you got?
I don't know if I meant
14? I'm mixing up things, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I got enough sleep
I
last
should have
night.
said yes.
I don't know if I got enough
want
sleep
a
last
moment
night.
where the comments eviscerate me. Where they go,
Breaking
actually.
That's right.
Can't stop.
Looking at the names, you can't get a good grasp on what these names mean or what they line up with, but there's like a name that just says like eyes next to it. Cross it out. There's one that has bugs, plants, stone / petrification, like just these lines getting crossed out. The petrification one is kind of a question mark, but there's only like 3 that end up on that list that are not outright crossed out. And unfortunately, they are all spelled weird. So I will say them. Good luck. Deern. I can spell it for you if you'd like. It's not going to make sense.
Looks like this.
It's not supposed to make sense.
This is having actions.
Why is there an L?
Well, that one has Dalkir. That one actually makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What did you say? I thought you said.
Deer.
Deern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's Deern, Orlask, and Zarvala.
I refuse to read
Understandable.
Not my info. I'm not writing that down.
And these are like
I'm told
people's
about
names
how it's like-
or
From what you can tell, these are certainly names. You just don't know what they correspond to.
okay.
If you tell me, I'll write down what you tell
It's
me.
like he's making a list of potential suspects, but you don't recognize these names.
My characters that wouldn't take notes. My character doesn't take notes. They don't take notes.
Nah, Ruby's got like the notepad out.
Ruby would take notes, so you have to take notes.
You've done Unfortunately, Ruby probably takes better notes than I do.
Chase is just curious.
Yeah. Well, if that's all, I'm probably gonna pocket the list of names and then go help them with the
With the
safe
safe.
lock.
Sounds good.
Putting a key in the safe.
Yeah, don't you have a key? Did you not try that?
Yeah, we'll look right now. We're doing it as
Doing
we
it.
speak.
Put the key in, it opens. Go.
Yeah.
Done.
I open it and my head moves. Just a flavor. My head moves.
Just kind of done.
I wait for one of you.
This is booby
I
trap.
wait for one of you to be right there.
Listen, this is a
someone
weird
else.
magic casting detective's office. Don't trust it.
Yeah.
I just hear clock.
Okay.
I let you sleep on my couch.
You're the one standing there. What?
Right. With putting in the key and opening up the safe, you do see runes within the safe, and they all dim.
Oh. Someone
Inside
knows
the
what
safe, you see what looks to be a crossbow,
Okay. Whoa, is it
like a light
Handheld?
crossbow
Yeah.
with multiple bolts
Oh, wow.
made out of this like weird purplish metal.
Oh, the bolts are?
Yes, the bolts are made out of this weird purplish metal.
He got a gun.
the arrows? The what?
It's
The crossbow
crossbow
bolts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crossbow
Yeah,
bolts.
come on,
Yeah,
Christian.
There's about 12 of these weird purple bolts. And you see that the light crossbow itself has some runic magic on it as well.
Oh, wow.
And is 12 a significant number that we know of? Is it like there's 12 houses or like 12 governors?
It would be 13 in this world. There's 13 planes of existence, there's 13 dragon mark houses, there's 13 dragon marks.
One's missing.
I think 12 is what you can afford.
Or it's just,
The author of Eberron's last name is Baker. I'm pretty sure the people who were writing Eberron made the joke about a baker's dozen.
Perfect.
Because there are
13
too
everything.
many fucking 13s within the world of
So
Eberron.
what I'm hearing is
13.
13 Dragon Mark houses and one of them is dead.
12,
Technically,
12 bolts.
I don't know if your character knows that.
That or it's just.
You can roll a history check if you
That
like.
or just Chad's right.
I'm rolling a history check.
He only afforded 12. Or
Fuck!
he had more and he just, only has
I don't know
5.
anything. Oh,
15
damn.
given.
5 in a bundle of 12.
14.
14? 14 and 15, thinking just like a corresponding like reason for why there's 12 bolts in there, if that's a significant number. Nothing comes to mind on 13.
But you think
12,
it's
my
significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's
both of you can at
fine.
least make an estimated guess that 12 doesn't have any significance. There's 12 dragon mark houses, but that seems hardly connected to what is happening within the rest of this shit.
Put the pieces together. You haven't connected shit. I've connected them.
Have I? So you said I haven't really recognized the markings or anything like that. Would there be anything kind of here to give me an indication that I, as like a marked individual, should be concerned for my own safety?
In regards to what?
Her dragon mark? Or their dragon?
For the dragon mark in general, or
Because
just?
I remember the not Warforged.
Yeah, the flesh forge.
The Flesh Forged, he thought that both of them were dragon marked beings.
Mhm.
Ferris is dragon marked. I'm like,
Right.
is this is this an all dragon marked things, or is this like a
Roll me
specific
an
one? 'Cause I'm
insight
fucking
check.
nervous.
Roll me
Okay.
an insight check.
Oh,
I get bonuses on insight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to see if Ferris here was a gatekeeper.
I think he was.
Christian, you specifically roll me history. You are the only one who gets this option.
Copy that.
Who's?
Are you? What are your tool proficiencies? Because I know you have brewer supplies.
I know.
Playing cards and deep tools.
Okay, yeah. History then.
Automatic 16.
Automatic 16, nice. For the question of whether you are in danger or not, just going between the list of names and like the victims, nothing that specifically targets members of House Thrash or anybody with the mark of
Okay.
finding. It is targeting gatekeepers.
But you
Okay.
are getting pretty close to the action here.
It's almost like there's 13 houses, maybe there's 13 gatekeepers, 12 bolts, one of them's dead. Crazy how that works.
Well, I mean,
I've connected them.
you haven't connected shit.
I've connected them, Ruby.
What was that number you ended up getting, Chase?
So 17.
17?
Yes.
With the
That's
history
enough
check,
advice.
you remember seeing these within Melody Irdunen's like study. The metal
The
of
bitch.
the bolts.
Oh, interesting.
The specific
Oh.
metal that is used on these bolts.
Okay.
This is a type of metal that was apparently very prominent in the old Goblinoid Empire.
Okay.
It is
Someone
something
bring that
called
over.
Biesh. I don't expect you to write that down. What you do need to know is that it is essentially as hard as adamantine,
Cool.
but it does extra damage against aberrations.
Okay. Hey, these bolts were in Melody's house earlier.
Well,
The
the metal
metal,
was
the
at least.
metal.
Yeah, like it was used on like
Same
a
sort of-
dagger or like a suit of armor or something like that. Like there was like
Can
a
you
gauntlet and
write
like
down what those aberrations are? The Druce.
These guys? What are you talking about?
The
What do you
do.
need?
Delkiers?
The Delkier. Can you just write that? So I don't. So I have it spelled right. Yeah, because it seems that those aberrations came about, destroyed the Goblin Empire. A new empire arose, and for some reason, those got locked behind some form of gate that these druid gatekeepers are keeping. The Dragon Below are fragmented cults that are coming back that may or may not be worshipping those original Draukir, and they're using transmutation to turn flesh into some form of sonic resonance to bring them back. Does that sound realistically kind of what we're all thinking?
Sounds good to me.
You're looking at my fucking points.
Does that sound real? You know what I mean? That's a realistic thing. Now, what it is that they're specifically targeting their enemies. They're like, they could just go grab schmucks to transform, but they're specifically weakening their enemies, beheading them, taking their heads to do that sonic resonance. So they're weakening while they're getting stronger. So it's a little confusing on, do these cults finally merge and get cohesion? Or is this one that has become...
That is like, we're getting our
Yeah, most
dragon
cults,
show.
it's the leader who's gaining the power.
Yeah.
There seems to be one finally figured out, hey, let's transition this power up the chain. You know what I mean? And it's kind of, to me, it's, if they're fragmented, they're easy to infiltrate,
Yeah.
right?
What I'm wondering if our dear friend over here, Ferris, was a gatekeeper, or
Yes.
if he just got too close to him.
No, he was a gatekeeper.
I
think
mean, that
I think he
tattoo
told
was
us.
pretty,
Yeah,
telling.
yeah,
He didn't
told
tell you guys. Linda told you.
Linda told me. Okay.
Ferris.
She's in on it.
Ferris did end up telling Puck over here.
Yeah.
Go find the gatekeepers if you really want to learn some more about these weird fucking cults. But it was almost like a fucking insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, but talk to the gatekeepers.
Okay, damn.
Just like you want to do weird cult shit. Go find the gatekeepers.
Go find the gatekeepers. Rude ass.
With this new information, do a retroactive insight check, Hannah.
Fuck! No advantage because I'm pretty.
No. I don't know if that works on your husband, but it don't work on me, boo. I'm sorry.
Because
What am I
I'm
rolling
pretty.
history?
Insight.
It's only a 10.
10. It's enough to get the point across. It's enough to get the point across of you were essentially spouting some weird shit that lines up with cult things as he was telling you about. He was essentially, go find the fucking executioner, okay? Do my job for me.
I'm not gonna say that out loud.
Okay. Well, if he was a gatekeeper, and we're looking at a lot of other dead gatekeepers, I kind of wonder how many are left.
That was my next question, is how many does it look like there's left?
We don't know how many. That's
Of the list of victims that were actually killed, seems there was like a good, like 9 killed.
Do we know the date of the first victim?
The date of the first victim
Or at least
was
how recent?
corresponding with what was on the court board and just through the various case files.
Yeah.
Seems to have been like a few months ago.
This is quite
to me. What's more
It's
interesting?
very recent, but it's within, at the very least, the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. What's more interesting is, do we know the locations of the deaths of these gatekeepers? Right? Was he like, he's like John Smith killed at this address, right? This person killed at this address. Does he have?
That information is provided within the case files, yes. They are spread throughout the city.
It doesn't look like any particular pattern or ruin, anything like that.
It needs a pentagram.
No!
Just in case,
Um,
you never know.
You never know.
Might as well
Roll
try.
an insight or arcana check.
I'll do Arcana because
Can I also?
Go ahead. Anyone would like to, now that that has been thrown into the open, go ahead. 18?
18.
15 Arcana.
15?
21.
21? Okay. 21 insight, 18 insight?
22 insight.
22 insight?
I gotta roll Arcana.
Pepperoni.
It's arcana or insight of your choice.
I'm better at insight. So.
That's still only a 14. I'm not rolling.
We
really
level
good
plus
tonight.
8 to insight.
We just started.
Just making sure.
All of you can at least make the connection that there is no specific like pattern to
Okay.
the placements of these
Cool.
deaths.
Cool.
But most of them were taken in like either their homes or in other vulnerable places. The most that you can all assume is ambushed.
Yeah. Okay.
And looking,
going full
and
wallet.
he does have like recreations of some of the symbols that were at each of these locations. They do kind of match up to the rune that is on the floor, but there's different lines going on. I will say with the Arcana checks,
Just me.
yeah,
Definitely not me.
they match up in weird ways. Do you mention what you've seen for the circle on the ground? The fact that it is a map.
Yeah, I think I.
Maybe I would even ask you, like, hey, what do you got?
What do you look
What's
at?
this shit say?
Look at
Everyone's
you got?
over. By the way, what's that? And I
Hey,
go,
Rob,
wow,
what's this say?
thank you for asking.
What did?
What are you thinking right there?
What did you write in?
Yeah, I just let everyone know, like, you know, it seems to be directions, navigational directions that line up with a sewer system or an underground system or some kind of old pathways.
Oh, well, ain't that handy.
In that case,
Lining up some of the symbols that you see, similar idea. These are not specifically, not just maps, teleportation circles.
Oh.
Very small, tiny, bastardized teleportation circles.
Okay.
I have a.
Like they have a way to get in, but they need an expressway out.
Okay.
Did you tell us about the secret entrance in that lady's study?
No,
No, never mentioned it.
no one's asked.
Never mind.
Yeah.
We have to fish and bring. Wait.
I don't know what's
Secret
wrong.
passage in whose study?
Don't worry about it. Apparently, we
That's
don't
above
have-
table.
We don't know.
that the dragon.
There was a small
Above-
little hideaway within
Yeah.
Melody or Dune and Study.
Above table,
that-
we don't
This
know.
is a rich person. You got secret passageways. I don't know. It could be
Yeah,
a secret
passageways that
corner.
Melody would not be able to fit in. But they do lead down a level into like essentially the district below
Sure.
to another locked door that was not explored.
Yeah.
I have a question.
It's frowned upon to break and enter
Are
someone's house.
these killings that had, like the things that have been happening, are they very publicized? Would I have seen it in a newspaper equivalent?
Heard
But
rumors around
specifically
town.
the pictures in the runic pictures, the runes
One
in the
high
site,
profile has been
have those pictures been publicized?
Yeah.
They did not publicize any of the images
At least no one
for
in the
fear of
people care about.
Okay.
Copycats.
either copycats or
Okay.
other instigators, or potentially like leading out the serial killer in one way or another. I will say they did at the very least mention that grisly murders for each of these individual cases happened around town.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
yes, they're I would say through newspapers, and probably just through some general criminal contacts that you've established, just various people are trying to figure out just oh, is this one of the crime families? Is this a serial killer or something? History check for you with your criminal background.
Check, look at it. Look at it.
Return the favor.
History? 16.
16?
So I have
The way that it is,
money, decent paycheck.
so far as trying to figure out who would do killings, or at the very least who are assassins in any regard around town, it would not be Dask, because they're all about brute force and they will just actively take over territory.
Yeah.
They're very loud about who is in charge of those things.
Not about the
Al
settlement.
Capone, baby.
Boromar is white collar crime. They will blackmail you, they will extort you, they will do smuggling, but they keep most of their shady business on the down low.
Tax fraud.
Tyrants would be information brokers. House Tarkanan is assassins.
Okay.
It's the bread and butter. That's what they do.
So there may be a connection to that, but House Tarkanan does get hired by Boromar sometimes. Dask will do the killings themselves, but Boromar doesn't get their hands dirty. They'll find somebody else to
It's
do it.
Bildo then.
What I was worried about was if these images were publicized, it would be like a call to arms for anybody else who was like, oh, we're starting, okay, anything like that.
Fair.
But, and if they're not, then okay, they're keeping it hushed.
Yes, there is nothing specifically that is a rallying cry or anything like that. It is the newspapers say, hey, be vigilant. There is a serial killer on the loose. Sharn Watch and House Thrash and House Medani and House Deneath. They are getting multiple dragon-marked houses to try to help find whatever's happening.
Exactly
You probably would have seen a couple of these case files on your desk as well.
Cases and whatnot.
Yeah, but they were probably in other districts that you didn't have jurisdiction over, or you focus on cold cases most of the time.
Give
So,
some time.
yeah, you wouldn't have been on an active crime scene for one of these things, more than likely.
Would have seen one that happened a long time ago and been like, oh,
Anyways.
Yeah, it's
weird. Huh, ain't that a shame?
Yeah, most of these have been happening within the last essentially 6 months.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And considering there's only been 9 of them, it is very spread out between killings.
Haven't been able yet to book a gig with any of the Maestrodon, but I've seen people who have left them, and they come out not remembering anything, they come kind of know that stuff. I got some earplugs that would help if I would be able to get in. I haven't yet, but I'll let you know if I get there. This feels very connected.
Day, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
If, let's say, would there be a way for Red God to try and contact Mastrodon?
Get an agent.
Unlikely. Maestrodon is very private in most of their performances. They're usually the closing act. So you've probably been within the same buildings as him, you've at least heard him talk, you may have had a brief conversation with him, but they have not given any sort of contact information or anything like that. They've been kind of standoffish.
If, and you can say no, if Red God were to put out a Battle of the Bands style me versus you, how likely would he show up?
Is he competitive?
Scott Pilgrim the shit.
Roll me a wisdom performance check.
Because if the answer is yes, you guys are about to find.
Find out.
You're gonna find out. How much were those? Oh fuck me. What was it? Earplugs?
It's performance using your
They were
wisdom
like
modifier.
30 gold.
30?
Absolutely killing me. Yeah.
I just got paid. I can charge.
I mean, yeah.
Don,
but
you
it's
they
like-
sold your money already?
So I have
No, actually. I do understand deafness. I actually.
17.
Blindness and deafness. I saw
With a
you.
You
17,
can just be
you can
deaf for a
public-
bit.
Yeah, I do that. It is
like essentially
one of my
put
higher level
into the
spells.
newspapers or through town criers
but
in one
I
form
have
or
not.
another, and you can usually challenge
Until
people
I
in
drop
these
it.
types of duels. Like
If
it's
I'm doing it on
essentially having a
myself,
rap
you know,
disc
usually it's
contest.
offensive.
Right.
But
If I-
you know, you do
Make
battle
you
of the
deaf.
bands type shit.
If you're
Yeah.
a wizard, that could be helpful.
Whether or not
Like,
somebody
it
has
has
beef
a
with
block.
another
So
performer, it's usually a
offensive.
good way to
But I have
drum
fun
up
using it on
support.
myself or one of you guys.
Other
For this
Other performers have tried to do the same to Meisterdon, never shows.
It's not the most efficient.
And usually most people like will come up with the idea just like, oh, they were too chicken shit to show up, they're all gone now. Like I'm fucking like top shit or some shit. And it usually gives a little bit of credibility, but Meisterdon is enough of a closed off individual. Most people just go there for the fact that it's the name Meisterdon. Like Meisterdon doesn't need to up a street cred, essentially, is what you're able to gather from that. While they are an underground performer, they don't act like any of the other up and comers.
They have to wear like red god.
If that's how Red God acts,
better
sure.
than you. I don't have to fucking take your challenge.
Not challenge, but more so like more secretive about everything. You know, it's not like, yeah, like this is my fucking band, this is who I am. It's like you don't need to know.
It's like,
You know,
I
you know.
show up, people have a good time, I'm done.
And then I leave.
If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
And it seems like a lot of people know Meisterdon at the very least, so any of these challenges don't seem to be affecting their, we'll say, demand.
What I want to do now is get into a concert of Meisterdon. And I've been trying. Boy, I've been trying really hard, but it's hard to do. Hard to
Do I
nail
know
down.
How do
Any
these
upcoming concerts?
concerts happen in the first place? How do you
You know one,
The gala?
Tane Gala.
Oh shit.
You mean this gala?
Yeah. Well, he'll be at the gala, won't he?
Oh yeah.
You don't have a guarantee of it, as you
Like,
don't have anything like that.
Probably.
But considering both Red God and Meisterdon have shown up in newspapers as up and coming artists, if they contacted you, chances are good they probably contacted them as well.
Right. I mean, probably, right? I mean, I've heard that they've contacted a bunch of performers.
And
He'll be the closing act.
Oh, most likely. He always is.
Yeah, I even got
Well,
invited.
they always
You got
are.
invited?
Good.
Donnie.
How'd you get invited?
No. No. He's invited. I don't
Oh,
want to
the
know how.
exact words were.
We all together one.
You will surely provide a spectacle for the attendees.
Wow.
What?
I'm trying to see who it was addressed to.
Yeah.
Don't you have several identities? So do I. That was one of my others.
Who's to say I have something like that?
Oh.
It's crazy. I would
Is this
never
so?
lie to
Eyes
everyone.
narrow slightly.
I would never lie to people
Anyways,
like that.
How'd you know
What's
for
that
this?
Who else got the invite to
I got invited as well
Gala.
to bartend.
Well, of course. I mean,
Bartend.
I was invited, but who's to think I actually show up or not?
Why wouldn't you show up?
Because.
When someone
Because
else
why?
She's
show
too
up,
hoity-toity to work with us.
I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people
What
are
could
going to show
possibly
up.
be
Yeah.
more important than
I'm a
this?
jazz singer.
yeah, someone
Then
else,
that- you,
someone
you,
else
you
would
show
show up.
up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Some,
Who's to say whether or not I mean, I'll
Alright,
probably show up
Robin,
just
did
to
you get the
rub some elbows, but I don't know if I
invite?
can for one.
I'll be there.
I'm
All right. So we got you working it. We're attending. You're
You guys gotta figure out a way to get some sort of earplugs going on.
all right. Well, where'd you get yours?
About bits and bobbles.
You guys were heading to
Bye.
base.
Yeah.
You going to
I don't
Vegas?
actually need that, but I think I might go see a friend of mine who can help me.
You need a
Cause-
buddy system?
No, it was basically stuff I should have done on downtime, but I actually figured out what I want to do with all the shit I stole.
Ah. In that case, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you guys are gonna go shopping again, you know what I mean?
I think
I'm
I'm
a
gonna
big stop.
probably write down the symbol, like kind of sketch out the symbol that is on the floor,
Mhm.
as well as kind of like take the other. I'm basically gonna take his cork board and set it up in my office,
Makes sense.
so that we don't have
You may have to do something about the bloodstains in there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Linda is also in there hearing all this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody forgot about it.
Linda,
I
y'all.
didn't, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
I did.
But I.
I mean, we're just talking over her dead boss.
Yeah.
Do you have somewhere safe you can go for
We're
a
investigating.
little while?
Alright.
I do have my own place to stay. I was kind of hoping you guys could try to figure out what's happening here.
No, of course.
I'd be willing to pay. Titus kind of had his own private, like, collection of money to try to get resources for this sort of stuff.
Insurance
It's
plan.
Is there anything
Personal
else
savings.
that you'd be able to tell us about these gatekeepers?
I
Another
know
one.
Titus was one of them.
Does
Do
he
you know
have
of
a-
any others we could
Yeah.
get in contact with?
Most of the gatekeeper stuff I know was just like, 8,000 years ago. They're kind of small potatoes compared to the rest of the druid types.
Got it. Do you
I
know
don't-
of one gatekeeper alive and well?
I can't fulfill the last part of that.
All right.
Shame.
So they're alive, but they might not be well.
Oh,
I
Physically or
can't
mentally?
guarantee alive or well, because I only knew this one.
All right. Thank you for your
Who's the one?
cooperation.
the bit.
Looking at the dead body.
That's
that
That was.
Linda, you are so
This is
unhelpful.
Titus Times. Hey, the
Hey,
woman
you're
is
doing
mourning.
great,
What
good
is
job.
wrong with you? I'm sorry, Miss. It's all right. We'll
Did
take care of this.
Did he see any friends? Did he keep in contact with somebody at some point? Just kept
He's been-
recurring friend?
Super busy over the last 2 weeks, essentially after you guys got done with your case, and whatever info you provided him sent him on kind of a mad hunt. He has been making some talks to some folks in the lower city.
No names, nothing.
Fella by the name of Brass Tacks.
I'll take it.
He runs around in the cogs area.
It's my
favorite
favorite
place.
place. How did you know?
I think he's like a boxer of some kind.
Okay. I'll take
Admittedly, Titus has been coming into the office very haggard and very fucking foul smelling. A lot of times, though.
Interesting.
I don't know where his investigation.
it. Yeah, either
I don't know where
sewer-
Titus goes, but he smelled like the fucking sewer when he came into the
Yeah,
office.
he's in the
sometimes.
sewers picking fights.
In the sewers, yeah.
What a genius.
Smelled like it. I don't
Sorry,
know.
you
I don't
shouldn't
go
talk
down
to
there.
her
I
like
push
that.
papers.
Thank you very much.
I'll take
What?
that.
That math was.
I don't know if he's made any contacts within the sanitation department or anything like that, but I know there's some Sean Watch folks down there. They help guard the purification facilities. I know there's some weird shit in the sewers. I know that much. So I don't know if he's been picking fights down there or not, but.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do stuff,
Like pick fights in the sewers?
Sometimes you just gotta pick fights in sewers.
Is that why you smell the way you do sometimes?
Like what?
We're gonna get out of your hair now.
Explain.
If you're able
Get
to
it.
find whatever happened and put a stop to it, I can pay you handsomely.
Of course, yeah.
We'll put a pic.
Let me know if you come across any more information. I'm gonna hand her one of my very nice business cards that
Thank you very much.
Donnie has worked on.
Thank you.
No, you get to decide. Is this one of the ones I made that says Ruby and Adonis or Adonis and Ruby?
Ruby and Adonis. This is my office. I pick the rest.
There's some that only have your name. There's some that only have my name.
And then there's the different
Yeah.
orders. I'm like, all right, man.
4 cards? Why?
Why you have 4 separate ones?
Because it depends on what are we doing and do I want my name associated with it.
Bingo.
Oh, there you go.
It's the fucking pseudonym after a writer doesn't want to be associated with a movie type thing. Just I don't want to be a part of this.
Like,
Yeah. What time is it, by the way?
She brought you in pretty early, yeah.
He came into
you
work and saw this.
That's right.
Yeah. Essentially opened up the door, went to go see if Titus came in early, found Titus, immediately went to essentially go get a courier in order to get
Yeah.
you guys in.
This is probably 9-10.
Yeah, it's closer to 10 by now. It's 10:30 after all the investigating.
I got a gig later, but I'm free now.
oh, you got a gig later? Where are you going? Does it really matter?
A place.
Okay.
Sure.
Just asking a question.
While you all
I
don't
don't
share
remember the
secrets
name
with
of
each
it.
other, I'm gonna take care of them. the mess, so to
Yeah,
say.
get your
Oh, were you a
autopsy
crime
guys in
scene
here.
service?
Yeah, that's part of the cops. They literally come in, they take care of the body, and they clean the scene so that innocent people, like our receptionists out there, don't have a constant reminder of their boss who was no longer with us.
Chris, you get a
That's
deep-
literally what the job is.
You don't have a decomp team for that?
I do. It's
He's
part
gonna-
of the
He's gonna call.
authority.
Oh, okay.
Do you have one?
No.
No, you don't. That's so crazy. I'm gonna call the people that I know
Robin,
who do
Robin,
the job.
so-
I thought you were
Okay,
saying
I
that
know-
you were gonna clean it. Get off my fucking dick.
I'm gonna
Take that
take
long
the Newton's
fucking
cradle.
drag.
That's on his desk.
The newest one.
The Newton's cradle.
The little fucking bouncy balls.
Like while they're having this argument, like they're distracted. I'm just,
Sleight of hand advantage.
Just a little, you know.
Right.
16.
My
I'm gonna
passive
catch up to
17.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, a couple of passives within this room are going to
I
catch
see,
that.
but do not.
Adonis leaving.
21.
Can I get
Everyone but you would see this.
Can I give it the help?
And Linda. Linda does not see
That's,
this
all that,
happen.
that's the one that matters.
Yeah.
Linda doesn't see it. The other four, you
I just give you
actively
like a
see him
disappointed
smuggling
look.
something
It's
out.
going on your desk.
This is for you. It's
You found a mighty assistant, a wonderful
I
assistant.
truly have.
In the same
I'm
way
just like,
that
alright.
in the same way that a rich Renaissance land baron now has an artist that lives in their home. It's like, I made this for you.
It's an artist, a con artist, but an artist.
What the fuck is that? I made it for you.
I've invented a helicopter. I do not have the things to make it, but I have invented it.
That
I'm
sounds
gonna
awesome.
probably catch up to Rob and be like, alright, let me know what your autopsy guy says and see if you can get us into those sewers.
Sure, I guess.
You could always just
We need
go
permission to
in.
go in the sewers?
No, it's the
Well, I know
sky.
some, you said
Yeah.
some areas are guarded by Charlie
doesn't
Lodge.
Purification stations.
Okay, so
actually.
we
As
can
long
get
as
into
you
the
don't go to
sewers.
As far as I'm
I'm
concerned,
gonna
the next
go
thing to
to
do
the
is the
fourth
festival.
house.
I don't know.
Like, stay away from the infrastructure, the factories,
Not
the
the festival. You mean the
purification.
gala?
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
gives a shit if
The
you don't.
gala, well, the
Yeah.
gala is.
To me, that's the best thing to do. Donnie doesn't want to go to the sewers willy-nilly, just randomly. Fuck that shit.
Well, that's good.
I'm probably one of the groups who knows how
Yeah.
bad it is down there, right?
I'd say probably.
I'm borderline homeless. Like, I talk to other homeless people, they're like, dude, do not go down there. There's, what is it?
There are other homeless communities within the sewer who protect each other because there's
I'm like, fuck that.
there.
there
While
be
the
monsters,
dungeons,
yeah.
like the sewers themselves, are mostly just that sewers.
I know.
Every once in a while, there's some weird shit.
Yeah, Donnie knows how an urban campaign works.
Alright, well, we should probably talk to
You probably know some of like the homeless community that lives in the
Yeah.
sewers actually, so you may have a connection there.
Wow.
So, Brass Tacks is in the lower city. Probably be good to talk to him and see what Varys has been telling him.
I will
What's the
say
gala?
with those teleportation circles and the combination of the maps, they're assuming that these are maps, they all kind of line up with the one dot going in the one specific place.
Oh,
Okay. When is the gala? It's like a week from now or something?
2 weeks. You got like
We have so much time.
Yeah, I'm like,
We got
there's
time.
so
The
much
song is
investigating to
tasteless.
do before the gala.
big
I
party.
don't go in sewers.
I know you don't want to go in the sewers, Donnie, but
I mean, Chad kind of does, but like,
Yeah,
God, it
smells
does
good.
yeah, dude. But, yeah.
Linda straight up says like she will end up giving you essentially Titus's like savings when it came to the resources on this. It's like 100 gold each if you do this.
Think of the gold.
Alright, I'll go to sewers.
Think of the gold, Donnie.
Think of the gold.
Alright.
That's what I
Titus
thought.
saved a lot of money to try to figure out this like personal
What you just
gold
said, we
shit.
actually have a spot. There's like, where those teleport, we actually have a spot. It's not like we're just gonna go
No,
there.
it's not blindly exploring. It's
Yeah.
I'm
thinking
gonna
that
hire
this
you
is
to
a
do
map and then
Oh,
comparing it to the other
I'll pay
sigils and
you
everything else.
what money.
Yeah.
This motherfucker was actively giving like a destination to go to.
Cool.
Okay.
That'll do.
okay.
Alright, that will be our
I hope
last
these new
resort.
shoes.
Change out your shoes, then.
So where are the shit ones?
You want me to buy? We can buy you new shoes.
I'm not buying
Sewer
them.
shoes.
He's got his own money.
We can buy you some sewer shoes,
Sewer shoes!
some boots,
Some boots! Some sewer boots!
some secondhand boots that you can get trash. And you don't even get worried about these ones yet.
Like, hike up my skirt.
Yeah.
Donnie, I promise you we will not go anywhere near the sewers until we have to.
But we do have to, so we're gonna.
At some point we will very likely be in the sewers. But we will put that off for as long as we can.
Possibly tonight.
I think we should probably talk to Pax first.
Fighting that
Yeah.
monster that has the tentacle instead of an eye. Uglark. Is that what it's called? You know what I'm
Otyug.
you know what I'm trying to say?
Otyug.
What?
What's the name?
I've pronounced it Otyug. I've only ever seen it written, not heard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
What is this?
I don't know about those people.
It's
Roll
basically
an Arcana
It's
or
not important.
a history check, Donnie, since you've been in the sewers.
It's not important.
4. I'm not even gonna add anything. I don't want to believe. I've heard legend, so you tell me what I think it is.
You've heard that there are monsters in the sewers with tentacles and like very inhuman proportions
With
down
a
there.
10, what have I heard?
With a 10 on what might be in the sewers,
It is.
you do know that being a Dragon Mark person, you also know one of the other Dragon Mark houses is has the mark of handling, where they essentially mage breed animals to help clean up sewers. They have straight up made animals to help keep the sewers cleaner. They don't look nice. That's why they're in the sewers.
Yes.
But it's what works.
All of
It's,
it's a little
it's
bit
such
of
a good
gelatinous
easy
cube.
trope. It's so good.
You need a trash compactor monster.
It's
Here's
so-
one.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. As long as they're mage bred, they're docile.
Cool. So I'm assuming
Until they're hungry.
that's they're in the
That's what I
sewers. They
think.
got plenty to eat.
Everything's loyal until it's hungry. And then it just starts fighting people. Jeez.
You can't see Allie, but
No, you really can't see out.
Cool.
Jeez.
All right.
Putting
So,
different kinds
what's
of
everyone
sheep.
doing?
Delicious.
I think I'm
Are we
gonna go.
doing anything tonight?
Well,
Today?
we have the heading of somewhere in the sewers. We also have the heading of Brass Tacks, who's a boxer in the lower district, potentially also in the sewers. We don't know where in the sewers, except for the fact that we have these teleportation circle dots that one happens to line up.
We have a
somewhere.
map.
The sigils are essentially the map.
Yeah, it's like a weird, fucked up map, though, right? Like you said, it's like nonsensical unless you're looking at the sewer, like.
If you
layout.
line it up with the architecture of the city, there is straight up just pathways that all converge into one destination.
Okay.
I am
Like-
more inclined to get ahead on this before word can kind of spread.
Yeah, I'd say we go talk to Brass Tacks
Yeah.
and
I would say you, as somebody with the mark of finding, know that within House Thrash, if one of their own gets targeted, like within the own like actual members of the Finders Guild, they will try to find it first.
Yeah.
Because at that point, that is personal business. This ever makes way to the other Finders Guilds, good luck trying to get that money back.
So we're gonna go to the sewers today, after all.
Knowing my mob connections, essentially, is there anyone like that I know of that I should talk to before going into the sewers? Like, am I gonna step on some kind of gang territory? Is there like an established? You see, there's like various groups of like homeless people, effectively, that like
Yeah.
you know, like small factions or militia, I guess. Is there any mob toes I'm gonna be stepping on if I go down there? Anyone I need to be aware of?
The Boromar clan does not get involved in the sewers.
No, just
If they
It's
want
no-
to
it's no
smuggle,
man's land.
if they want to smuggle shit, they got other ways to do that instead of
But-
getting their boots coated in the soup.
But is it no man's land or is it just not Boromar?
It's not Boromar. Roll me a history check,
Yeah.
because you are specifically tied to the Boromar.
Do I get a bonus for mob information or is it
You
anything?
can roll this because you have mob information.
I'll take it. Works for me. I was gonna be like, Jericho, give me the help action.
we haven't
Not
heard
necessary.
from him.
Thank you,
How's
Jericho.
he doing?
Big J.
Let's
Big
go.
J. Jericho. A history check. That's gonna be a 22.
Nice. With a 22,
Big Jericho.
the sewers are not entirely no man's land. As was stated, there is the Sharn Municipal Sanitation Department, but they typically guard like the purification areas.
Yes.
You get a bunch of people with like the purify food and water, or people who like cure disease or lesser restoration or shit like that, who essentially filter out shit in the sewer and help get it into like actual aqueducts to help recycle things.
Yes.
But like beyond those specific territories, you're kind of left to your own devices. Sometimes Sharn Watch will end up having like some of the special division from the sanitation department to help take care of anything that is actively causing a major problem. But beyond the purification stations, the Boromar certainly doesn't go down there. They have their own channels and warehouses to do shit through. Essentially, the best you get is maybe like homeless communities who take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Like if somebody is straggling out in the sewers, yeah, they'll probably come over and help. If there's something like exceptionally off going on, yeah, they'll just move. Like it's just like, fuck, hold up, we gotta move.
Okay.
Why? One of the fucking tentacle beasts went weird. We gotta go.
Okay, so yeah, that tells me
Out
that
here, let's
the only
move.
threats that we should expect down there are just natural threats, like
Yeah.
giant sewer gators or fucking tentacle monsters or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever has lived and mutated down there.
Essentially,
Shouldn't
like-
have to worry about any, for like the word like people problems.
No, most times you don't gotta deal with people problems. If you piss off the homeless communities,
That's a different problem, but that's not an expected problem. That's just like a word of warning. Let's say going popping a shot off at the purification station. That's just gonna cause a problem.
yeah.
We're not gonna do that. The only thing we should worry about.
If
is
you want an
creature
entry
problems.
point, you could probably find one of the guard outposts that is like near that dot that can lead into the fucking purification.
Oh, I'll
areas.
absolutely use that information to my advantage. See,
Yeah.
watch knowledge, baby.
Yeah.
I know where people are posted.
Yeah. Like you know a couple of postings for like the purification stations and the where the sanitation department operates.
Yeah, yeah. So I will relay that information to the rest of the group and just kind of say that that's kind of the best jump-off point, that I at the very least can provide. If anyone has a different jump-off point, have at it. But that's the plan. Because the promise of money, I'm like, money, you say?
Yeah, not just money, 100 gold each.
Money for my debts? I have many of those. I require many coins. I can't afford to sit down
This
at my
dip was
desk.
not free.
This was not free.
I paid good money and lives.
Motherfucker, I got arcane bottom surgery. I fucking need to pay off shit.
It's so expensive to be in debt to the mob. You would not believe it. So I have to do this. Not by choice.
We leveled
So I'm gonna go do that. So I'll just put out that invitation to everyone. It's like, hey, I'm going down to check out the sewers. I know some guys over at the sanitation watch station, so I can get an in day for us down there. If y'all want to sit out a day, have at it. All I know is I can't really
Bloody
afford to
Susan,
sit.
you gotta have at least two.
Those
I'm going down with you.
Sure.
Perhaps don't let their dead sit dead for very long. We're kind of racing against that. So,
Fair enough.
which on the other hand means that they might have a pretty good chance of finding whoever the hell did this, and but also I want the money. So let's go.
The money.
We got first dibs on it. Remember
We
that.
got first dibs.
We got
I am
first dibs on it.
A-okay with this particular brand of, like finding and killing those who killed their dude, but also like,
Do I
Like,
want
listen,
to need
you can get the backup,
Yeah.
you may not get the paycheck.
yeah.
I do not want to be knee deep in the sewers, but I need the money.
Since Titus
So
Ferris
let's
was
go.
a member of the Finders Guild, any of that personal savings would go back to the Finders Guild.
No. My money's at stake. We have to solve this case ourselves.
And I can't talk to them well enough to be like, but what if I just give me.
You're not part of the guild officially. You left the house.
I'm part of the house, not part of the guild.
What guild?
You're not under the roof.
Are you still part of the house? I was under the impression you left the house entirely.
What?
To be your own independent person.
I
Just
didn't,
because you have the dragon mark doesn't mean you're part
I
of the
didn't
house.
sever connections. I still got
Okay.
family connections. It's
Okay.
more of just like a
Freelance.
y'all are doing this big stuff. These other dudes in the street are getting so fucked. I'm gonna go help them.
Yeah, the finders typically take the big cases.
They take the
admittedly.
big cases, and I'm like, hey, what about everybody else?
Does it get us good money?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. That's kind of the business arrangement that happens.
Yeah,
like,
they're-
depending on who you talk to, various Thrashed members will help out the little people, but their job kind of says, hey, you have guild dues.
Yeah, and I'm not paying dues.
Yeah.
I'll pay rent. I'm not paying dues.
Yeah.
Oh, my money's at risk. No.
Your
I'm
dues,
good.
your dues include the risk. Well, include the rent, essentially. It's just like you're paying for room, board, any other fucking like connections within the guild itself. You leave the guild, you do not get those connections.
Alright, kudos to Wiz.
So you want to sign up? I
Whoever
said,
else is coming.
And then the defeated
See you in 20
battle
years.
cry. Yay.
Yeah.
To the sewers!
Shouldn't we check with the tax first, see what he knows before we kind of rush in? Brass tax?
I think that's where
I
we were
think
gonna
he's
find him in the
in
sewers
the
somewhere.
Do you know where he is?
The cogs are in a separate level from the sewers.
Yeah, but that's like a whole other like.
It's in the lowest city. You go lowest city, you go sewers.
Oh,
They're
right. So
next
we're
to-
gonna find a single person in a like. What do you want?
He's in the cogs.
He's somewhere down there, but that's a whole system.
There is upper district, middle district, lower district, sewers, cogs.
Oh, he's below the stinky place.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we gonna do? Find a needle in a haystack? Do you know what this guy looks like? You gonna recognize him on the street?
Is there a way to get to the cogs that's not the sewers?
There's quite literally a lift that'll take you down there. It's
Thank
mostly for people who have to go into the industrial district, essentially.
Oh, it's handicap.
Alright, well, which one? More like
You don't
mine
see that too
shaft.
often, yeah.
Yeah, no, Shard is very handicap accessible.
Well, that's not enough. Yeah.
You never see those.
You also just kind of need it because the carriages need to move levels as well. So these are like massive lifts that can fit cars.
Alright, everyone, get your hard hats. We're going down.
Oh,
Go to the cogs.
stinky down there.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah,
stinky
sorry.
regardless. Do you want to stay home and be out of your cut?
You can't stay home if you want.
I'll just
Hey,
make Splice do it.
Hmm. Do that often, do you?
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much of this paycheck does he actually get?
Oh, he gets,
However much he
A fifth.
A fifth, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Good to know.
however much he puts in, that's what he gets out.
Let's make our way to the lift.
Here we go.
You can start skulking off, you know? Like in every noir city, I'm sure there's like a steam pipe that's like blowing random smoke into an alleyway or something like that as we pass through. Several newspapers
Step
blowing in the wind.
We don't need
Lawsuits.
We don't need steam. It's probably a collection of like aqueducts moving around. You probably see some like various smoke coming from blacksmith shops, but
Nice.
steam itself probably not much.
Nice.
But there's definitely newspapers that are floating in the winds, various trash
We
that
don't
just
have
rumbles
water
in the
here.
street.
We're the discount people.
There's
who
water, but there's also magic.
No
Yo,
water.
fuck water. All my homies hate water.
Nothing.
I drink magic.
I drink piss water.
Like I said, there's aqueducts.
I
You
recycle
don't
my
need
blood.
steam
But not
when you can
all
just
blood
cast
in those
pure
areas.
I
water.
recycle my blood.
There's heat metal within other people's private domiciles.
I split it into plasma and water. I drink the water. I don't eat the plasma. Money. And then I pass out because I drank too much.
It was too much.
I don't need
And
too
I
much
die.
plasma blood. Drink too much blood, money. Someone help me.
James Bond is having a strong
Dom's Jim.
call of
Bondulance.
bondulance.
Big strong sounding strong.
We're at the lift.
You're at the lift.
We're at the
You
lift.
take the lift down. It stops at multiple places. Carriages get on. Various other pedestrians get on. Leave at different levels.
I'm aggressively pushing the closed door button. Just like,
There's
Cargo,
literally
cargo.
a little pedestal with some runes on it, just like
make way, making a delivery.
there's other there's like
Yeah,
actual
come on.
attendants for these lifts
Oh.
as well. So
Fantastic.
they handle
He's
most of
raging
it.
over them.
Yeah.
Pushes him off the side.
What floor?
Cogs.
What floor? We need to stop for a delivery.
Are you trying to get there quicker?
No, I'm not in any hurry to get down to this shithole.
I'd allow you to go into intimidation if you want to try to get there in one stop.
I do have a bonus to it, and I don't think I've ever used it. And I do need to use this, this male privilege that I've acquired.
Worked hard for that mail.
I worked hard for it. I went into debt for this shit. I might as well use it. Big money, baby. Someone back
The
me
last
up.
queen of the country ran everything.
Someone back me up!
I assist. In the back, I'm like,
How are you
Yeah.
assisting? I will allow advantage, but how are you playing through this?
I'm gonna
What
be
do you
like,
say?
you're like, like tough guy
White
stance,
boy,
hand on the fire.
Can I give anti-advantage? I'm gonna give disadvantage
Just
by
trying
going
to
like.
figure out how. Just fucking with me. I also have a dragon on my shoulders, so
Just be like this.
Cool, you have a familiar.
Be scared, but my dragon's like, sir, I see someone.
You do
see
the
shit
like
every day.
move the trench coat out of the way slightly to see the.
I also
Stifle a
really
laugh, you know.
Start
Quick question:
flipping
did
this
anybody pick up the crossbow from the
I
safe?
figured I
Yeah.
did since I was the one
Yeah.
who, and I figured that was all that was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah, that was all that was
think
in
the
there in the
fingers
magic
over
rooms.
here picks up anything.
Fair enough.
If you list
It's shiny.
anything
I wrote it
and
down.
nobody
Hear me.
else says, "Hey, I'm gonna take that," I'm pretty sure he is just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Anyways, add that to my."
Yeah, I wrote it down. I have 12.
Wanted to make sure. Because just the reminder of the firearm is just like, oh yeah, did anyone pick that up?
For sure, I haven't had the time to like identify it or like do anything with it, but I for sure pocketed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're showing a firearm to essentially the attendant in order to try to assist on this. You're just crossing your neck here.
I'm trying to give disadvantage.
See,
to
I
this.
feel like
Fucker.
them saying that he's crazy
You're like,
would be even more of an addition to intimidation.
Or like
Because,
laughing, or like doing
it's
my
fucking
time
crazy.
Wait a second, could I just flash a badge?
Yeah.
I'm a cop.
Yeah,
Like
that gets you advantage.
I'll take that. I'll be like, just like, I need to go to the cogs now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being suspended.
It's Charn Watch. You present a badge. Cool. Yeah. Okay, officer.
Advantage?
Yes.
Works for me,
Maybe I should
thank you.
become a cop.
Huh?
Listen, maybe I should become a cop.
Hey, maybe you should. We're always
Maybe you
hired.
should just steal a cop's badge.
You don't want to be one of them, but I got a
It's
drawer full of
you said
old badges if you want one.
Not a confiscated.
Damn, could have way better.
Well,
12.
so-
12. Good enough. The attendant sees the badge and is just like,
Not out of fear, but more like a, yeah, sure.
yeah, and more out of like respect. Like it's not full blown like pissing your pants terrified. Just like, oh shit, officer of the law. Okay, they need to go somewhere.
Take me to the cogs. Whatever you say, officer.
Yep.
30th.
So fair enough. You
30th, 30th.
the lift actually goes by a lot quicker because carriages and pedestrians aren't coming on. It's essentially just like stick like a, for lack of a better word, like touches another rune on the side of it for the equivalent of like putting the key in the elevator, and then just straight up missing other stops where you can see other people are around. Because this is essentially a modified Tensor's floating disk.
Woo!
Just
Bye. Boss, I'm gonna be late. The fucking elevator missed me.
I don't know
what do you
how.
mean the elevator missed you?
That's a lame excuse. I'm not gonna. You're fired. No, I've made so many enemies.
And you guys just descend into the cogs, or are you going for the purification station area?
We're going to the cogs.
Cogs, cool. Head down into the cogs area. Past you see most of the city, and then after a little bit, you end up seeing essentially the crust of the a bunch of dirt and everything. Where there's still buildings here, but they kind of it's a lot darker now. You are entering the deep lower city, and then eventually there is a sort of glowing red light as you guys get closer to the bottom, as you see active lava flows kind of going into these various
Going to hell!
just going into essentially various factories.
Everybody get in.
As you are now in the industrial district of the cogs.
Yahoo.
It's like,
Yeah.
have a good day, officer.
Thank you very much.
I get off the lift.
Oh, we're going on it.
Yeah.
I imagine as soon as we're off, just to get the other people that we passed.
Essentially, yeah.
It's a-
Little modified wall of force
Right.
just closes
I feel like
behind
Spike
you
Ball
and
had
just
Pop Pop.
rises back up with the potential floating disc.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thanks, good.
Now what?
Hey, you would lead the
Yeah,
chat in
dude.
this one. You keep going.
Yeah, come on, keep it up.
You're the detective.
Yeah, what do we do?
We just go back up. Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up to. Is there stalls? Is this factories? What's the kind of setup?
Where
down
did
here?
it spit us out at? Is this
You guys are essentially in a very industrial district of the cogs. There's a couple of neighborhoods around, but it's very low income places.
Yeah.
Most of the place is dominated by these house canif factories and warehouses.
Yeah.
Predominantly where you'd see people with the mark of making and a bunch of warforged making things. You do see that there are various collections of monster folk around here. Just kind of about whether they're actually doing a job or just loitering, for lack of a better
Just living
term.
their life.
Yeah, just kind of around, hanging out. I will say there is a distinct lack, not lack, but very light Charm Watch presence here.
Excellent. I'm gonna get stabbed in an alleyway.
If you're lucky.
If anyone
If
would
I'm
like
lucky.
to,
Stay
roll.
close, pretty boy.
If anyone would like to, roll survival or history check.
Yay, I have a really good survival.
I will say Chase gets an advantage of this for criminal background.
Hell yeah. I may not even need it.
That's 20 plus
Nah, I'm gonna be fine.
24.
Cool.
Oh wait, I'm still
30, 20
Hannah.
survival.
30, 20.
Take
No,
a-
I'll still be fine.
I'll take an 11 history.
11 history. Cool.
You can change.
11 history.
24 survival, baby.
Nice. 11 history, you know that there is very light Charm Watch presence here, and Boromar doesn't go this low.
No.
This is Dask territory.
Am I gonna get in debt to yet another mob? If I'm
No.
lucky.
Don't touch me.
Not just dead.
I'm gonna say, with that 10, you understand that much.
Excellent. Wonderful.
For the dirty 20 and the 20 plus over here on survival checks, you know as long as you stay in the main streets, you're gonna be pretty okay. Going into any alleyways, good luck. Because there is heavy Dask presence here. Like, it's no longer just, oh yeah, no, this is like Dask turf. It's, no, they actively took this place over. Their home base is down here.
Okay.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Splice does work for Dask. Would this be safer to be Splice rather than Hannah?
It's safer to be a fucking criminal down here than it is to be a fucking hoity-toity.
That's fair. How do I do this? Okay, thank you.
You take a sheet.
It's just a brief transition, but you just like hide behind Adonis for a little bit and then actively just change, just going behind.
And
Just
it's
like,
like, I'm getting back on the elevator. It looks scary down here. And
That
Splice
camera
walks out.
Where you
Hey
just
guys,
go
what are you
behind
doing here?
something,
It's
changing something else.
it's like from that SpongeBob game where it's like you just stand at a bus stop, a bus appears, and when it's gone, it's just like
Yeah,
"Ah!"
exactly. You just go behind
Cartoony
something.
shit.
Some
Yeah.
cartoon shit.
Yeah.
like
Walks
there's
into the
still
porta
like
potty,
public
walks out.
carriages that move around down here.
So I assume you're Splice now?
Perfect.
I'm not. No, I
us the
have to
flavor.
figure out a way to do it. I think Hannah's gonna look around.
Shit.
Does she have like a sending stone or whatever?
Do you have a message stone to
Yeah,
somebody?
or like what? Just whatever, right? It doesn't have to be to anybody in specific. It's just in general.
Was that your common magic item? Because I don't think it was.
No, I don't think so.
Hey! Oh my
I'm
god!
gonna get
So
called.
sorry.
Should have gotten one of those instead of magic.
Yeah,
secret
for real.
color.
A message stone is essentially a walkie-talkie. You would
Right.
need like an actual proper sending stone to send to somebody, but you have a 25-word limit essentially. They don't have like. There are phones here. You just have to go to the fucking Dragonmark house to use them. They have their own call boxes essentially.
Wait, hold on. I think Splice lives around here. He might have a better knowledge of what's going on. Let me go grab him.
Oh, wait, alone?
Stay right here.
Wait.
Stay right here.
What's that over there?
But you might want to stay out of the alleyways. Just
I'm gonna go down an alleyway.
don't go in the alleyways.
Wow, what pristine advice. How could I have ever foreseen to not go in the dark alleyways in a strange part of town?
You'd be like,
My god.
I'm just
5 minutes.
trying to
Cool.
help you out given your associations. Both
I have to
of
wipe
them.
off all the makeup.
So who wants to do the talking, huh? Shall we interact with the locals?
I'm gonna walk up to
I'm pretty charismatic.
some.
I don't know anything.
I don't know who's around. Like, is
Yeah,
it
man.
Bunch of Warforged.
Cool.
A
I'll walk
couple
up-
of people with marks of finding.
I'll
Not
I
finding,
encourage you.
marks of making.
Yeah.
I'll probably walk up
Now,
to a
this is your
Warforged.
case, you go
Mhm.
for it.
Oh, now it's
Um,
my case.
There is a very like
When was it not your case?
sort of like dusted up, like Warforged individual.
It's my case.
What looks to be essentially
Yeah,
half plate armor, just kind of like walking around, but they're like missing part of like half their face is dented in essentially.
when you go into
Just kind of walking down the street, and you just go up and talk to this person.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you say?
Detective Ruby Andrews, nice to meet you. I'm looking for somebody named Brass Tacks. You heard of him?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Anyone's a detective.
I am a cop.
I'm a cop. I'm down here doing crime.
You're probably wondering.
Well,
doing that.
The guy just kind of looks at you and just goes,
I'm not with a watch.
he's gonna roll an insight check on that.
I'm not.
Just kind of like,
Yeah, detective, man.
what's a PI doing down here?
Oh, sussed out. Get sussed.
They actively said just like,
They said
your mark of finding, right? You
Yeah.
did, you did say detective.
Yeah.
Detective.
Yeah.
Personal, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm gonna come and save you.
What is the I can do this.
Okay.
Just because Shaq doesn't know the word doesn't mean Ruby doesn't.
Inquiry?
No,
I'll let you cook.
it's a person that you work with. I think it starts with a C.
Go work. Go.
Associate?
Sure,
Coworker?
associate.
It's okay.
Personal associate of mine.
Not
to
to
help.
Had some
A correspondent?
correspondent. Personal correspondent of mine was down here
To see some crack.
talking to brass tacks, and he is belly up now. So I'm trying to pick up where he left off.
Fair enough.
You dig?
You feel me?
I don't know what brass tacks is.
All right.
Shows up at a pub a couple times, but I can't exactly speak any further. As
No
he like
worries.
actually kind of does a kind of a look around and just goes, alright, I'm gonna be real with you. I know you say you ain't from Sharn Watch, and you look trustworthy enough. You don't look like those other fucking hoity-toities in the rest. Why do you need brass tacks?
I was working with somebody at the finders, and he was looking into a case that I had helped out with.
Mm-hmm.
Starts talking to brass tacks, looking into some stuff. I go into his office this morning. I'm just trying to figure out what he found out that might have gotten him killed.
Let's just don't let him.
Hopefully without ending up that way myself, if you
You might
understand.
need it.
Let's just let them know how much we're getting paid.
Half-orc fella?
Give him a cut.
Huh?
Half-orc fella?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him around 6 stones a couple times. Talking to brass tacks, yeah. Yeah, they got a gang going on tonight. He'll probably find them. Well, yeah, he probably shows up early. They might have a couple matches there now. No idea what he does on his off time.
That's convenient.
Thank you very much.
All I
sir.
know is I got this fucking shiner from him.
Thank you very much.
His actively fucking dented face.
Oh.
Get
Copy
dented,
that.
loser.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're trying to mess with brass tacks. Take fucking care on that.
Does he have brass knuckles by any chance?
Yeah,
Got it.
big fucking ogre with some weird magic shit. I don't
Got
trust
it. Thank you.
We
Well.
leave, but I toss him a gold.
him. You just tossing the dude a gold, just like,
Thanks, but yeah, help.
We're gonna get robbed.
Spice
Got
wants that.
that kind of money to
Just toss it around.
Yeah.
I think Spice is just gonna say
like you see this Warforged individual essentially just hides it in their own mouth just when they get the gold, just kind of like,
Cool. So we
Thanks
found
for that.
our. Did I get those backwards?
they don't need to eat. What else they use the mouth for? Secret compartment.
What else
Which-
that mouth do? It was secret.
Sorry, I thought.
I was not
which-
specially designed as a sex bot. I'm so sorry.
The I think I wrote down the wrong clan earlier. The orc grunt with the brass knuckles, which
Ogre individual was
Ogre,
a
yes.
former robber who ended up essentially pulling heists on banks, just full blown breaking down.
okay, I wrote
walls.
them down as Boromar, and I feel like that's not correct. Which one were they?
They have affiliations with DAST because that's kind of more their MO.
Okay.
But you have no guarantee if they're still a part of that or not.
Okay.
Chances are likely,
Yeah.
but you don't have
All
any
right.
guarantees.
Well, I think we found.
First stop.
Which one the ogre from his notes is?
Nice.
Brass knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Literal brass knuckles.
Oh joy. So, who plans on getting their ass kicked?
Maybe I should just talk to him.
Hey, come on, Donnie.
Slice, nice to see you again.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
How's it going?
well,
Alright.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Alright, Donnie. Let's
You got a lead?
get heading towards the 6 stones. guys should have a couple games going on tonight.
Alright. And so we go. Yeah, to the 6 stones.
Roll survival. Survival or perception.
What are you doing here?
To
Yeah,
get
can I roll perception on being followed? So they're looking forward, but I'll be looking behind us.
Over here.
I will allow
Is
this.
that perception?
Yeah, that's perception.
I want to give someone the help. Should I help you or should I help you?
Yeah, no, I'm not good at perception.
I'll help. I'll help Donnie.
what are we rolling?
Perception or survival in order to try to get to 6 stones.
Okay.
Nat 20
Or-
survival.
Nice.
14.
14, cool.
7.
Christian now has 2
17.
nat 20s.
21.
God.
Chad's still in the
21,
lead
nice.
with 3.
Ooh,
I roll.
This does make sense for Chase. Chase, you've probably done a couple of bartending gigs down here, because there's still bars within the Cogs area.
They still got me.
Yeah. Like, there's still places that you can make connections with down here, so you know the 6 stones, and whether or not you've worked at this place before, up to you. But you would probably at the very least know people who go there regularly, and so you can figure out the direction in order to get to 6 stones. Similarly, just like going down like good alleyway spaces and like making sure just like, all right, I know nobody's going down this way, or just general survival, just like don't go down that one. I fucking see a troll. Fuck that. Perception, what was the total?
14.
14. Looking behind you, making sure that you're not being tracked or followed or anything like that.
And that's just for like anyone who got off the lift after us. You know what I mean?
You were essentially the only people on the lift.
But like
when you
as this was,
flashed the
you know what I
badge.
mean? Even like while this was happening, right? Like,
Ah,
You know what
yes.
I mean? Just to see, because we went directly from a crime scene where a cult eviscerated and
Yeah,
then you know what I mean. So now I'm like constantly watching over our backs.
fair enough. Keeping a lookout, making sure that, you know, if anybody's following you or any of that, or any shifty characters in a fucking cloak or chanting weird hymns or whatever the fuck.
Just censor.
The sensor is just a fucking skull. It's still talking.
He's fine. I like his vibe.
That's normal.
Right. With a 14, nobody actively arcane is like following you in that regard. Nothing actively like weird aberrational cultist type shit. You do see a couple of goblins looking your way, and just kind of like
I nod to him.
roll me a persuasion check
Hit the
or
goblins
intimidation
with
of your choice.
It's one of these.
Saw brothers.
Solid.
You saw it.
What am I doing?
Party saw it.
Persuasion or intimidation of your choice, depending on what your intentions are.
Solid.
I'll do persuasion. I'm good at that.
Cool.
25.
25. Nice.
Can't do math.
The two goblins kind of like chattering with each other, just kind of like, fucking good dust going on.
Never mind, it's twice. I'm fucking talking. We're fine.
You're welcome.
As like one of the goblins just kind of like,
Jack,
shit's
motherfucker.
nice in town.
I'll fucking tell one of the bosses.
Oh.
As these goblins just kind of like leave off a little bit. Doesn't seem anybody's actively like making threats at you or doing any sort of like trying to make a mark on you, because you can tell like whether somebody, because you may look like out of towners, at least a couple of folks, just kind of like, oh cool, a mark, and then they just kind of like, oh shit, never mind.
Take a little longer of a look.
Yeah, they don't want to look for too long in case we beat them up, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's such a shady neighborhood, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even gonna...
Especially with Dask, they essentially go by violence, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that. Fuck that. So eventually, you guys make it to the 6 stones. Safe, uninterrupted. Nobody's tailing you. There at the front door is a Medusa person.
Hey, Gore.
Actively wearing like a veil over their face.
I need way more. You need to give me head to toe on this person.
Okay, so this
Am I thirsty?
Yeah.
I second that actually.
Can I smash?
Will I die?
This
I
is
don't
a male
That was
Medusa
not the
individual.
question. I don't care.
So, male Medusa individual, kind of loose jacket going on, very similar to what you have going on, but less flashy. Kind of like rolled up sleeves, kind of the look for intimidation, with what looks to be a bunch of coral snakes for hair. So they
Yeah.
got the sort of like red, black,
That's
and yellow.
adorable.
Yeah.
And they have similar scale patterns going down the rest of their body. But they're wearing a veil over their face.
Snake legs too.
Humanoid legs.
Humanoid legs. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just the visage.
Yeah, the
Not
vis-
full Gorgon.
Yeah, no, not full Gorgon. No. Because for some reason D&D decided to split those things up for some reason.
Well, there's so many hybrids.
Yeah. But yeah, they got the snake hair going on. The snakes are actively looking at people, and just making sure, just make sure you don't hide anything. Actively, essentially, just being a bouncer.
Yeah.
Is this full face covered or just like the eyes?
It's a full veil.
Okay.
Do I know this?
Admittedly, the top couple buttons are unbuttoned on this bouncer, so you can actually see the scale pattern continuing down.
Do I know this man?
Can they be like an old flame?
Potentially. Persuasion or deception of your choice, depending on if this was serious or not.
18.
18? Did you date a Medusa?
Did Splice hit a Medusa?
I think
oh shit, my ass.
they weren't like
I don't know.
super serious, but it was like, hey, you up, 3 a.m.
Oh no.
Okay.
kind of deal.
Oh, you fuckboy to Medusa.
You had a friends with benefits with this person.
Yeah.
Still cordial, stuff like
God, I
that.
wish that were me.
Cool.
Ruby's about to slide in.
All right.
So you
know this person. This person was Hasash.
You set me up for that.
Sorry, what was the name?
Hasash. Hasash.
I did 2.
Gonna be a lot of those types of syllables when you're dealing with fucking Medusas.
It's like when you take a bite that's a little too hot.
No, this is a person with a fun name.
Perfect.
So yeah, you're outside the 6 stones. There's a couple of people in front of you, just kind of essentially just all right, hold up, age, race, demographic. Essentially just a little booklet, a fucking Rolodex essentially, just kind of
I'm like, what is the legal
who
age
the
to
fuck
drink?
can I send this to?
Halfling.
Elf, hold up, you passed your first century?
No.
Fuck outta here.
Get the fuck out.
But I'm 20. But I'm 24.
I'm 67.
Hey, if you'd like, I can keep you around here until you age up. As one of the coral snakes actively goes under the veil to start lifting it up.
Ooh, get him. Smash.
I'm 87. I'm minor. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Aw.
Pull out my ID, show it to him.
As
Kind of
one of the just hands takes out the card, just kind of
I'll probably go as well, but
you see one of the coral snakes just go.
you get the sub from the I've been doing beautiful as ever.
Doing quite well. And while I know you personally, I want to keep my job. ID.
I have it.
Just have
It's more of a formality at this point, as it's just kind of takes it, doesn't even glance down, puts it back.
Could have handed him the wrong ID.
the snake.
Just the hair's there.
Because the camera's above, alright? They have to see me hand them plastic and then hand it back to me.
sure.
Look, we got a couple of lookouts, alright?
Mhm.
The gargoyles will still see things.
I had my ID.
Yep.
Clarity card.
ID?
Yeah.
Roll me a deception check.
I didn't even say.
It's just
I'm curious if you have a fucking identity for this specifically, or is this just you actually sending out Adonis's fucking ID?
Would he have one?
You made
You
it.
can just say human 30, whatever.
Oh yeah. I thought I had to show him an ID, a real. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah.
They have a fucking detective badge. You have forgery stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know if you have anything.
I mean, I made all her for
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
made IDs for them. Why wouldn't you have one
Well,
yourself?
your
Give him
own.
a business card.
Yeah. Adonis Franklin, 34, human.
Perhaps you may need my services. Adonis Franklin, PI.
You look
That's
it.
all in a silver.
Yeah.
Say you
One of
look
the
it.
Johnson Ruby cards.
Adonis, 35, human. Yeah, you look it.
Damn.
What?
How
What is
looks to the other two of you. Alright, Chase.
How you doing?
Doing alright.
Nice.
Everything going good for you gigs?
Oh yeah.
Sounds good. Are you showing the fucking cop badge?
No.
What?
It's just a question.
How they sing.
I did
Any
it.
single-
I did it anyways, yeah. I know I did it like kind of finished, but yeah, I have to commit. You know? I have the gusto of a man. You know?
I love
The gusto, the gumption, the gall.
That's the interaction page. Hey, are you
Are you single, man?
Showing him the cop.
Yeah, a couple of flings.
Yeah.
I couldn't kill you.
You could try.
Alright. As you see some of the coral snakes actively just start.
You probably would have tried successfully.
There's various hissing noises coming from the coral snakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't tell
I
me
hope
something
you do.
not. I'm not here for you.
You don't have like a regular.
Is it illegal?
Don't pick a fight is all I'm saying.
I don't plan on it.
We'll keep an eye on him. Don't worry.
Oh, that's not my job once he gets inside. I'm just the front door.
Whose
He
job
wants-
is it?
Hmm?
Whose job is it?
You pick a fight with a troll, that's on you. You pick a fight with a goblin, that's on you.
I'm not here for a troll or a goblin.
Hmm.
Just a quick question.
Hmm.
Brass tack's been around?
He's in there right now. He's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
put
here
on a
speak
fight
to.
within the like next half hour.
It's just who I'm here to speak to. He was the last known point of contact for someone that I can no longer speak to. So I need to know what happened to him. If that's alright.
Anyways, we're good to go in, right?
Just full blown
Walks in.
veil. Just kind of like no active face, like
of
essentially
course.
recognition on that, but it's just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah. I go to Johnny. Johnny, you got one of Ruby's cats.
Yeah, I do.
Which one do
You
you
were
have?
asking.
Adonis Franklin and do I have your last name? Ruby Andrews.
Ruby Dixon. Nope.
Good.
I think I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's not willing.
You guys
Good for
go
you.
in. I turn to them like, hey, you got the hot we get hit her up. She's a good one. She's a good one.
Wait, man.
Just a little focus snake.
Chase is out here being a homie.
Keep it in mind. Just actively tucks it in a little bit in your pocket of a jacket.
On this one, where you go. I have it inside.
Oh my god.
Kind of dry. but
Listen,
keep
if
things
you're
fast.
vouching for them, I trust it better than if it's coming from Splice.
Be nice to me.
I know who the company Splice keeps.
Hey, good company.
Good for a couple things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Couple of
But if we're judging by character, let's be real.
Said you're a good lay but a piece of shit.
It's whether or not they're a piece of shit, it's the company they keep is a piece of shit. After all, you fucked me.
Are you? Anyways,
Oh,
I'm gonna
self-degradation.
look around. What does the inside of the pub look like?
Inside of the pub, rowdy.
It's an old cowboy saloon.
People getting thrown across tables.
Feels like one.
Nothing
Anyone-
quite that drastic
Okay.
yet, but there does seem to be a essentially a hexagon in the center of the pub with these 6 stones essentially along the corners of it. And inside essentially the hexagon, you see what looks to be a warforged duking it out with a fucking gargoyle.
Wow.
Love that. Smash.
I saw
I'm
that.
gonna-
I actually want to see this.
Yeah, you watch the fight. I'll look for text.
Cool.
I'm gonna look around for
Let's find a booth.
Mr. Brass tags.
Sure thing. Roll me a perception, or how are you trying to find them?
Mr. Brass, can I call you Tex?
Looking around,
Tags.
I guess.
Just like-
just walking,
Can I
walking
brass?
through.
It's
Oh,
a tax.
Because you may use different skills depending
I
on how
do
you're trying to
have
find
an
them.
eye for detail. Which is bonus action to discover hidden creatures or objects. So perception is what
Sure.
that uses.
Sure. Roll perception. What's everyone else doing? Sounds like Chase wants to see the match.
Yeah, I'll also gravitate towards the bar. You see my note and the people who are working there tonight.
Sure thing.
Yeah. This room has been way too stressful for me today, so I'm going to the bar in order to drink.
Yeah.
Understand.
Like that front door entrance, Donnie's just like, can we just go inside and not make a scene?
Really hard for this group apparently.
So we got 2 people heading to the bar. You're trying to look for tax.
To the bar.
To the bar. through
Actually,
the
no.
bar.
I want to sit on the edges of the fight.
Okay. So we got
And-
one to the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to head up to the ring and see who's winning, and then cheer for that person.
Sounds good. Roll me a insight check for that one. What are you doing, Robin?
I'm gonna have Jericho just like creep out of my lantern effectively, just kind of like materializing out of the lantern, like crawl up onto the shoulders, and then just kind of like stick a hand up to like touch the wall, guide them up as they kind of move along, and just go for a bird's eye view. And I'm gonna find an empty chair in the back of the room, in a booth, on a table, somewhere where I can just kind of park myself, so to say.
Okay. Roll a stealth check for Jericho. What did you get?
I rolled a 16.
Oh, excellent.
16?
Yeah, and then I don't know exactly what Actor Detail does. That gives like a.
I want to say that's a
Auto.
bonus action thing that you can
Okay.
end up doing in like essentially initiative orders, where it's
Okay.
like it's another thing you can do with your cunning action. Is what I'm getting at.
Anyways, yeah. So I rolled 16 for
Perception.
Perception.
Cool.
I'm
With
trying to convince
perception,
the room to tell me where it is.
there are a few ogres in here, but none of them seem actively interested in the fight going on. There's a couple people like actively cheering, but it's
I am
like
also looking because I know I've made the connection now of he is the ogre I read about with the like literal brass knuckles, so I'm also kind of like on the lookout for that.
yeah. And I would say with that information, the ogres that you do see here do not have any like fancy ornamentation on their knuckles or anything like that. Some of them are just wearing like essentially just common linens or something like that. A couple of them are wearing like some scrap cobbled together like bits of armor. Like someone has like a fucking welded together trash can mixed in with some like fucking rope just tied around them for a pauldron. But most of them are just kind of like normal ogres, for lack of a better term. So brass tacks is not in this room at least.
Okay.
There does seem to be like two sides of the six stones ring that go into like different corners.
Okay.
So they may end up being in like a different room at
I'll
this current point.
probably continue into the next room. Just keep looking till I find him.
All right. Then we will pivot to what did you get on your stealth?
22.
22. Okay. Jericho is able to go up across the wall, like essentially unimpeded. Like no one else is paying attention to it. There is like a rafter area with what looks to be elevated seating for gargoyles and harpies, who are also just watching the ring right now. And you see a couple other like gargoyles just kind of flying up sometimes with like a tray of like snacks or some fucking beers or something like that, just hanging out in the rafters. So Jericho's able to go unimpeded. Nobody's paying attention to tiny pseudo dragon at the moment.
Nice, nice.
And you're just trying to get a bird's eye view of things?
Yeah, just, making sure that when Jericho's keeping a view on everything, you can, call out, information, so to say. And I'm just going to park it, I'm just going to park myself in a booth somewhere or at a table somewhere and just, honestly, just try and lay low, kind of, make sure I'm, can interfere when need be and not just be, an open figure, so to say.
Sure thing.
From the shadows.
Yeah. Yeah, roll a stealth for you then. Just to try to blend in with the crowd. You can also use your charisma for this as your modifier for it if you'd like.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to help blend in with things.
I'll absolutely take that bonus. That's going to be a... How do I have these numbers over there?
I don't have numbers here.
What is math?
I don't know, man.
Oh, no, I absolutely know why I have these numbers here. It's going to be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, yeah. Sure enough, you're able to just park yourself into a just random booth or table out in the corner and no one seems to interact with you. They seem much more interested in what's going on with the fight or whatever food they have at the moment is.
Oh, absolutely. I hope that's the case. So, if I'm the most interesting thing in the room, pass.
No,
Shitty word.
there's a few other people of just varying races in here. While it is mostly goblinoids, gargoyles, various members that would fit in with Dask's upper echelon of things, there's humans, there's dwarves. You see plenty of tieflings down here as well.
Solid.
Yeah, no one's paying attention to you. For the three individuals going to the bar, you do see somebody you would recognize because you have worked with this person before. It is a Warforged bartender who goes by the name of Kem.
Cam! I kind of go up to Cam and I'm like, Cam, I didn't know you were working here tonight. How you doing?
Oh, hey, jeez, how's it going, man?
Good. You need any help back here?
No, I got the next batch coming up right now. As like his chest like essentially pops open with some vines, essentially just pouring out like a new mixed drink for somebody. Just kind of like, yeah, I got a new one right here. Hey, yo, Charlie! And just slides it down the table as you see this like large troll take this like tiny martini glass and just like fucking, and just fucking sips it.
Hell yeah. You been pretty busy tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. Apparently there's some fucking big shot fighters coming in later.
Big shot? What do you mean?
Yeah, this fucking old guy from, well, not old guy, he's average for an old guy. This fucking dude by the name of like Brass Tacks or something. He's apparently a showstopper. He's going up against somebody by the name of Iron Maiden. It's a full fucking like blast out type of fight game, but you know, we can't exactly post it on the fucking posters. We only got a certain amount of capacity going on, but those who know, those who know.
Pretty cool. 2 medals against each other.
Yeah.
Alright.
Can I get you something then? Can I get any of your friends here something?
Ooh, yeah. What you guys want? You got a good
I'll
one.
take martini extra dirty with 3 olives.
Sounds good, my friend. As he essentially like takes up a couple of like different bottles and essentially just puts them into his roots as they just kind of like filter through these different like little channels around his body as they eventually converge into the chest cavity. Just kind of like, hey, what can I get for you, fella? Looking to you, Slice.
I'm at the.
Oh, you're at the ring. My mistake. Never mind. What was your insight on that?
19.
19. Oh, you can tell the gargoyle's winning.
Room for him.
Sounds good.
Kick his ass! Twist his dick!
Oh my god.
Performance or persuasion, your choice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'll do performance.
It's an animal. You can't do that.
He's an animal.
Question: are you using bardic inspiration on this individual?
Absolutely, I am.
Spend a use of bardic inspiration as this dude now suddenly starts fighting a little harder.
Yeah, that's my boy!
Like fucking grabs the other guy like
That's
under
a
the
dirty toy,
armpits.
by the way.
Nice. Grabs the other dude like under the pits, flies up and goes for a fucking like not choke slam, but fucking like pile driver and just fucking like this is not scripted fighting. This is just straight up brawling in the middle of this ring.
That's my guy!
So mixing a dirty martini for you, just
Yeah, and
kind
I
of
would like to say, as we sat, the 2 things I'm looking for in the crowd is basically as we entered, if someone like got up and left, right? Did someone interesting walk out? And if that's already too much to ask for, but I'm also looking for like weird Warforged. You know what I mean? Like
fair,
weird,
understandable.
like obviously like the
There's
bartender.
Warforged with special designs, but then there's Flesh Forged.
Yeah, I'm kind of specifically looking, like I don't care about the gargoyles and stuff. So far
Yeah.
they're not attached to this, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to know if someone kind of clocked us, and the people I'm trying to clock is there a Flesh Forge?
Yeah. Insight or perception of your choice.
I'm going to be, before you say that number,
Okay.
if you want to use it, I'm going to be like, I got this drink for this one here, whiskey sour for me, and that one over there playing the Slice.
You
do
sure,
what you
man?
do, and I will write a conspiracy as well.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Well, somebody's gonna have to pay for this fucking dirty martini. 9. Nobody actively sticks out. Any Warforged that are here have the wooden or sometimes viney interiors. Nothing that is actively muscle. No one else seems to be paying attention to you guys. They're more focused on the fight going on or just chattering amongst themselves.
I like it.
Yep.
Just kidding, I want the attention.
Alright. As Kem just starts mixing up some different like drinks for some other folks that are just along the bar, just kind of like, so you here for the fight or you here for some business?
Oh, we might want to talk to one of the fighters.
Oh, hot shot you are. What, you getting into a different management business or something?
No, I'm staying where I'm at. I'm interested, you know?
Alright. Listen, I don't know if the Iron Maiden actually swings either direction. Warforged can't always tell. Brass Tacks, he's got a thing for small folk if you're interested in that thing.
I mean, good to know.
Completely misinterpreting your interest in this.
He's like, I've got
I'll take it if
interest.
they want to think like that. That's okay with me. Should we talk to them about before the fight or after the fight? That's
After.
Okay.
As he's just mixing up a bunch of other drinks, just kind of like,
So who cares? Then he has less health and we'll beat it out of him.
Do you know if Brass Tacks is a sour loser by any chance?
I ain't even seen him lose yet, so no idea.
Good to know.
Happy winner.
Listen, man, when you get an ogre with some fucked up knuckles, yeah, he usually tends to win these fights. I saw him dent a fucking Warforged earlier. I am glad I'm not that guy.
I think I saw him earlier too.
It's pretty evident. You can't always tell if it's an actual war injury, but that, bang!
Yeah, not great.
Just mixing up a couple other things, just moving along.
I'm gonna give you the drink spice. I'm gonna come over and be like, here you go.
We're rooting for the gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
Yeah.
Winning?
Huh?
Winning?
Of course he's.
That's why.
Big money, big money, big
Big
rocks.
money. I've already
As you
started
go down
gambling.
one of the hallways, these seem to be like some extra like rooms on the side. Some of them just say employees only, some say talent only. All of them are large sized, so they can fit trolls and ogres coming through some of those areas. Nothing that specifically lets you know that brass tacks is in any of these at the moment,
Okay.
unless you go inside to try to check some of these.
For Hunter's Mark, I have to be able to see them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Find object.
No locate person's a thing, but I don't know if you're high enough level for that. With your, oh no, I don't think marker finding actually has that innately. It's just a spell you can use if you have other
If you
spellcasting
have
abilities.
spells.
Yeah, that's right.
Locate object, describe or name an object familiar to you, sense the direction of the object's location as long as it's within 1,000 feet of you. Can I use locate object on the brass knuckles?
As that is part of the person and not actual objects, I don't think it will give you the specific thing you're looking for. Because it's just straight up his fucking hands.
His hands have been turned to progress. It's really what that would work. Okay.
New plan.
If it was actual, like, weapon brass knuckles, I
Yeah.
allow it. But you're trying to find this one specific ogre.
Yeah. Okay.
Your
Exactly.
passive perception
He's
is
coming on
21.
21.
He does it. I'm
You
not
can
gonna know
overhear
this.
some of the
The
talk
whole crowd
saying
of people
that,
putting bets that are gonna be
like,
mad.
after this fight, Brass Tax is coming up next, and he's
Okay.
going up against this person by the name of Iron Maiden. So,
Yeah.
if you want, it's depending on how quickly this fight goes within the ring, he's probably coming out within the next couple minutes.
Okay, so I'll probably, that's probably not enough time to get any questions out of him. So this is definitely like alright, I'll go sit and I'll watch. I'm gonna sit towards the front.
Sounds good?
And then the front, like kind of like where they would enter and exit from, near
Yeah.
there, so that I can just like, right after he's done, be like, hello, Mr.
Yeah.
Brass Tax. I'd love to chat with you.
Mr. Tex.
Mr.
good.
Tax.
Mr.
Can I call you
Tax.
Brass? Yeah, I'll just go sit down, watch this fight, wait for the next one.
Sounds good. Yeah, as everyone sits down, just in their respective areas, are you going with some of your friends, or are you just like sitting by, friends is a loose word, your coworkers? Or are you just sitting by yourself?
Probably like within eye line,
Mm-hmm.
but I am more focused on the like making sure I have access to him as soon as possible.
Okay.
So like I can definitely see them, they can see me,
Yeah,
but I'm like, I'm in this specific spot because this is where they enter and exit from.
fair
and
enough.
as soon as he gets out of that ring,
Yeah,
going in.
sounds good. With that, everyone settles down in their own areas, whether or not you're partaking of some of the drinks or snacks or any of that, up to you. However, at one point, the gargoyle just straight up chokeslams the motherfucker and keeps him down on the ground, and you see this, like, essentially goblin referee, like, come in with, like, just a 1, 2, 3! And he pulls up this, like, little wand, essentially, and just, like, speaks into it, and it just, like, starts booming out louder, as he has a wand of thaumaturgy. As he just shouts out to the crowd, "And with that, Stoneface is the winner of this here round! Stay tuned, folks, as up next, we get these folks out of the ring and clean up a little bit of a mess for Seth." As, like, the people just start moving outside. Like, someone has to come in and actually drag the dude out.
Stoneface! We love you!
As this fucking gargoyle like actually goes into the air, does a little fucking victory pose and shit like that. People are going crazy. Other people are just like, ah, shit. As you can see, a couple other people are just kind of like, fine, fuck, take it from me. As people were making bets on these fights as well.
Bitch, me too. Are you kidding?
It seems a lot of it might have been just like personal like games between each other. There does seem to be an actual ref who's taking some bets on the side as well. And as they move the people outside, the little goblin referee just kind of like goes, "All right, everybody, and here comes the next main event. Over here on this corner, weighing in at fucking Jesus Christ, is that right? 300 fucking pounds at 7'2", Iron Maiden." As coming out of one corner is this like massive fucking Warforged, definitely in like just straight up plate mail, and just like what looks to be on like her gauntlets seem to be just like what you can only assume to be just like spikes coming out of like part of the sides of it. Just like this actively like intimidating looking figure struts out into the ring, and like anybody near those tables you can kind of see it like shake a little bit. Just like, nah, yeah, you know what, that's right.
Yeah, no, that looks accurate.
Son of a bitch.
And in the other corner, weighing in at 12'5". Did he change his name last time? What the fuck? I swear this was a 4 last time. Is he getting bigger? What the fuck? And just like, and weighing in at 842 pounds, Brass Tax! As from the other corner, you see this ogre in a pinstripe suit and a little briefcase comes walking into the ring.
No, right.
As he just like has like a hat and some little glasses on. As he gets into the ring, opens up the briefcase, puts in the glasses and the hat, close it, delicately put it to the side of the ring, flexes the arms off of his fucking suit jacket, and then just starts posing like fucking Hercules over in the corner.
Back out!
As you see him like actively flex out his fingers, you can see the brass on the knuckles. As he like winds up
I
ready
make
for a
sure to
fight.
make eye contact. I'm like, that's our guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, that makes sense.
Oh my Chase, you already expressed interest in a person one time. I'm so on it now.
As they wind up for the fight, and the goblin in the middle just goes, "All right, as before, no holds bars. Bring them to knockout, or who knows what happens later. We do have some folks on standby, but who knows if they're quick enough. Fight!" And that's where we're gonna end the session for today.
Twist his dick!
Twist
Oh
his
my
dick.
Can't do that, so I'm gonna fight.
Do whatever I want.
Wow, that's a big fight, too.
Yeah, exciting.
Oh boy, we're down in the
7'2" versus like what, 10'10"?
We're not in the sewers, we're in the cogs.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah.
It's probably
We're
doesn't smell
lower than
quite as
trash.
bad. Doesn't smell as bad.
It smells far more like rubbing alcohol.
It smells like rubbing alcohol and metal, I assume.
Probably.
It smells like sadness.
A lot of it.
I love it down here.
I just like this.
Alright.
Alright, pretty good.
Great.
Are you signing us off?